Welcome to September 2024. I'm your astrologer, Patricia Tate. I specialize in traditional, Western, and evolutionary astrology. I'm excited to share this month's astrological forecast with you for all 12 signs. Please like and subscribe as it helps the channel to grow. If you are new here, welcome. You can learn more about my offerings at willowgracemystic.com. For those of you who've been following, thank you for your support and for sharing your journey with me. So September 2024, it ushers in this new eclipse season for all of us, and it highlights two main zodiac signs. They are Virgo and Libra. This month, prepare for a dynamic month that's going to be filled with these opportunities for professional growth, for personal growth, and a focus on communication and this transformative experiences as we move towards the Virgo-Pisces eclipse cycle. This is in order to bring you more in line with your health, your healing, and your spiritual growth and connection to others. With the Sun in Virgo until September 23rd, and Mercury is going to be in Virgo from September 10th to the 27th. This time period, it really marks a desire for organization, efficiency, attention to detail. Virgo season, it really encourages us to tackle these mundane, boring, or repetitive tasks with perseverance. It's pushing through the necessary, often unexciting work, and it's an excellent time to truly refresh your day-to-day routines, to find joy in your everyday activities, practicing mindfulness, focusing on what you are doing at the moment, to live in the moment. This can bring a new level of peace while all positivity is affecting our day-to-day practices. And then as the Sun moves into the sign of Libra from September 23rd to October 22nd, and then Mercury enters Libra from September 27th to October 14th, your social interactions, your wanting to connect and network with others, topics such as communicating with others, they come to the forefront. This is going to be a time for you to look back and to resolve any relationship challenges that you've had, and to give and support other people that are in your life, to enjoy the union that this connection brings to you. Diplomacy and tact are going to play a significant role in your day-to-day experiences, providing you with these opportunities for you to refine how you present your information to others in order for you to have a better line of communication. Listening intently is going to help you to learn these new facets about those people that are around you, improving and enriching your connections and your bonds with others. Prepare for a month that's really marked by significant astrological events and aspects, including this eclipse season that's going to be starting a new karmic cycle. Offerings this month. Keep an eye out for my Transit Talk webinars. These are interactive educational sessions that cover a different topic each month. The goal is to help you to understand the upcoming themes and the influences in order for you to be more in alignment with shaping your year ahead. To learn more and sign up, visit willowgracemystic.com, and don't forget to subscribe to my email list for astrological insights and upcoming specials. For all Virgos out there, I'm offering a discount of a personalized solar return. Use the code VIRGO10 to receive your discount. Visit my website to schedule your appointment today at willowgracemystic.com. Additionally, I will be offering live astrology consultations at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every other Tuesday evening. To reserve your spot and get in the queue, sign up using the link below. I look forward to seeing you there. Important dates for September. September 2nd, we're going to have a new moon at 11 degrees of Virgo, and we're going to have Mercury in Leo, which is trying to Chiron the wounded healer in Aries. And so the new moon in Virgo, new moons are always about new beginnings, fresh starts, clean slates. And so this energy combined together is presenting this powerful opportunity for new beginnings and healing opportunities. This lunar event, it's coupled with Mercury, and it's encouraging triumph, over your past hurts. It's fostering your personal growth. Virgo's influence really highlights the importance of our health and organization and self-care. It's an ideal time to initiate a refreshed wellness routine, to tap back into what you need in order to take care of yourself. Schedule your health checkups, reorganize your space, improve your efficiency in your day-to-day tasks. Make sure that you are looking for greater productivity in order to offer a sense of accomplishment. This new moon's energy really supports detailed attention to your self-care and health and well-being. Embrace this period in order to set these intentions that promote long-term health and personal development. Utilize the harmonious trine that's coming between Mercury and Chiron to communicate and heal past wounds, creating the solid foundation for future growth. This is a moment for you to focus on self-improvement and enhance your overall quality of life. On September 6, 2024, Mars is now going to enter into the sign of Cancer. This will be a significant shift in a focus towards home, family matters, real estate, property. This transit is particularly important because it's due to the impending retrograde that will happen later on in the year. Mars is going to come back to this area of your life in December and January. Now, typically, Mars spends about 2 months in each sign, but because of this extended period, this is about these energetic influences and themes that will be focused on domestic life, your property concerns. So expect a heightened attention to your living situation, your family dynamics, real estate, property. The retrograde shadow period is going to begin around this date, and it's really going to further emphasize the need for you to reassess and realign your priorities in this area. So use Mars's energy to make these constructive changes ahead of time, address any unresolved issues, and strengthen your foundations at home. From September 10th to the 27th, 2024, Mercury is now going to transit into the sign of Virgo. This is going to enhance your ability to get organized, improve your efficiency, pay attention to those little minute details. Mercury is the planet of communication and intellect, and it's in its home sign in the sign of Virgo, where it thrives, it expresses its energy at its best. This period is really ideal for detailed work, and it's about making things easier to analyze and solve your problems with precision and clarity. So expect an increase in your productivity and a stronger focus on refining your processes and your routines. This transit is encouraging you to persevere, to push forward with the meticulous approach to tasks that you may have, ensuring that nothing is overlooked, whether you're tackling complex projects or reorganizing your workspace. This is bringing you to well-structured outcomes. This is going to be a time that favors effective communication with others, allowing for clear and concise exchanges of your thoughts and your ideas. Utilize this period to enhance your skill set, implement strategies that are going to improve your overall efficiency, either at home or work or in your communication with other people. On September 17th, 2024, you're going to experience this full moon, and it's going to be a super full moon and a lunar eclipse at 25 degrees of the sign of Pisces. Now, this marks a significant period for spiritual and emotional growth. This event really invites you to understand the different perspectives of other people, to clear out the karmic slate, to make an opportunity for yourself for healing and reflection. This is engaging in deep spiritual practices and you connecting with water. This can help activate your intuition, to unlock channels, to enhance your spiritual awareness. The veils between the dimensions at this time can be thinner during this eclipse, making synchronicities and breakthroughs more likely. This eclipse also signifies the transition between the Aries and Libra axis and the Virgo Pisces eclipse cycle. So we have the beginning of something new and the beginning of an end of the old. It's letting go of the old cycle and emphasizing themes of service and healing and spiritual growth, and letting go of past emotional baggage, embracing new beginnings with this clear, intuitive mindset. And then from September 23rd to October 22nd, the sun, which represents us, it's going to be transiting through the sign of Libra. It's emphasizing social interactions, our relationship challenges, being diplomatic. This period is going to be marked by a focus on balance and wanting harmony in our relationships. As Libra's energy, it prompts fairness or compromise and peaceful resolutions. The sun in Libra really encourages us to seek these connections and to form these meaningful relationships with other people that enhance our social lives. It improves our ability to work well with others. During this time, there can be really a strong desire to address and resolve any relationship issues, making it an ideal period to be open in communication and in negotiations. Diplomacy is going to be a key theme here as you strive to understand the different perspectives that other people bring to the table and wanting to create harmonious interactions. This transit is also going to highlight the importance of aesthetic appreciation because Libra is ruled by the sign of Venus, so it brings about love for beauty, art, and refined environments, your home and your workspace. From September 27th to October 14th, Mercury is now going to move through the sign of Libra also. Now, this is going to emphasize all of your social interactions and your relationship dynamics. This period is going to be characterized by a heightened focus on tact and open communication. Mercury in the sign of Libra really enhances your ability to engage in balanced and fair discussions and communication with other people, making an ideal time to resolve these conflicts and strengthen your partnerships. It's about wanting to be heard and hearing others for what they're truly saying. You might find yourself being more inclined to seek out harmony and wanting to have a mutual understanding in your relationships. So refine your communication skills. Use this as an opportunity to listen actively and express your thoughts in a considerate manner. This period also supports all collective work efforts, whether they're at home or with friendship or partnership or at your work. This time period really makes it easier just to work with other people and to find common ground because Libra wants everything to be in balance and in harmony. I'm encouraging you to be mindful of the potential downside that can come with this of indecisiveness or overcompensation. While striving for the balance, ensure that you don't neglect your own needs and desires and your own opinions. Use this time to enhance your social interactions and to build these stronger connections and navigate the relationship dynamics with grace and diplomacy. Prepare for a month that is really marked by significant astrological events and aspects that includes a season that starts a new karmic cycle. Work to have a mindset of flow and moving towards the next chapter of your life. So for Aries Sun and Aries Rising, you are having on September 2nd, 2024, a new moon in your 6th house. Now, remember, new moons are fresh starts, clean slates, new beginnings. And so it's in your day-to-day health sector of your life. It's your mental health, your physical health. The 6th house is about getting rid of old habits, your caretaking of others, but first needing to caretake of yourself. It's your mental, physical, spiritual health and well-being. We also have Mercury in Leo in your 5th house in a trine with Chiron in Aries in your 1st house. These two areas of your life are working together to support you for this new moon. So Chiron in your 1st house is your identity. So we know that this is about you, your appearance, your identity, you being seen, things that you want to start. I always say that the 1st house is your business card, your website, and Mercury in your 5th house is things that I want to create, being creative. It's also the house of children. So we know that this new moon is giving you this opportunity for these new beginnings. It's a powerful time to say, I am ready to kick this habit. I'm ready to make my health a focus. It's supporting your self-care, your well-being, embracing this period of, I need to focus on my long-term health. I need to bring that into focus. I need to heal from my past wounds that have to do with my identity. And this could have to do with healing the inner child, because the fifth house represents children, and your inner child. This is an opportunity for you to create this solid foundation for future growth, and with a moment that is focused on improvement of your overall quality of life. I absolutely love this for you because it's you starting something fresh that has to do with your day-to-day living, and your getting rid of old habits and focusing on your health, your dietary needs, your day-to-day self-care sector of your life. On September 6th, Mars is now going to enter into the sign of Cancer. This is your fourth house of your home, your family, your foundation. It represents your ancestors, anybody that lives in your home. Mars doesn't always do as well in the sign of Cancer because it's a water sign, and Mars is your chart ruler, so it's always important for you to be following where is Mars going. And so this is going to mark a significant shift in energy that you're going to be focused on home and family matters, property, real estate. This transit is really going to be particularly important because there's going to be a retrograde here. So pay attention to everything that's going on now, because Mars is going to come back to the same point in December and January. And there's going to be a lot of focus on what are you cutting and removing, what are you pushing for with change that has to do with your domestic life, your property, something that has to do with your living situation. So focus on this time, because this is an opportunity to heal any unresolved issues and strengthen your foundations at home, because you're going to come back to this. It'll be at the end of December and then all of January. From September 10th to the 27th, we're now going to have Mercury moving into your sixth house. As it transits through this house, it's going to enhance your ability to organize, improve your efficiency, pay attention to detail. This is your day-to-day living. Now that it's joining the sun, it's embracing the energy of, I need to create these good habits for my self-care. There's going to be this increase in your productivity of moving forward with refining your routines. This could be, I need to make it a habit to take my vitamins, for me to schedule the healthcare visit, for me to take the walk with my dog or my friends, to get the health checkups, to make sure that I'm eating healthy. The sixth house revolves around all topics of self-care, whatever self-care means for you. And this is bringing about reorganizing your workspace, finding a balance between home and work. Mercury really enjoys being here. It's fine-tuning your personal plans. This could be finding a guide, a mentor, a counselor, a chiropractor, a shaman. This is an opportunity to have this open communication and saying exactly what you mean, moving forward with being clear and concise in your exchange of ideas for your mental, physical, spiritual, emotional health and well-being in order to improve your efficiency. On September 17th, 2024, you are going to have a full moon, which is a supermoon, also lunar eclipse at 25 degrees Libra. You have the sun focusing in also still on your sixth house of, I need to be bringing my mental, physical, day-to-day activities into focus. I need to get structured. I need to be organized. I need to pay attention to the details. I need to find some balance in my life. Now, the eclipse is occurring in your 12th house. The 12th house brings about topics of the hidden, the unknown, the being alone, isolation, its dreams, intuition, psychic ability, connection to spirit. In the sign of Pisces is marking this brand new period of this new cycle of spiritual and emotional growth. This event is for you to understand the different perspectives of how can I clear my karmic slate or get rid of this karmic cycle that has been passed down from one generation to another. The eclipses in this sign are now going to be here for the next 18 months, making this a really powerful time for healing, reflection, to get rid of or to bring about all topics that have to do with rest and recovery. You tapping into where I withdraw and I want the inner healing. I want to clear out the basement and heal and renew in order to be refreshed and rejuvenated, to be more in line with where I'm supposed to be going. The eclipse signifies this transit between Aries, me, Libra, we, where I've made these balances, and now I'm moving into Virgo. I need to have a plan and I need to be organized with it. And Pisces, I need to be more in tune with where I'm supposed to be at in the universe, with my mindset of service to myself, healing, spiritual growth, and bringing all of this together in I have to be able to let go of past emotional baggage. I have to embrace these new beginnings. I have to clear the slate. I have to have a more intuitive mindset. I love that this eclipse is happening in your 12th house, in that it can bring about a connection to your ancestors, your spirit guides, your spirit animals, to the Akashic records, to you doing work behind the scenes. This is a time of going within in order to discover. And this could be with institutions. This could be healing through spiritual retreats. But all of this is going within in order to understand more, to connect to your soul purpose. From September 23rd to October 22nd, when you're now going to have the sun moving into your partnership sector of your life. I absolutely love this for you because it is you plus other people, business partners, significant other, best friends. The sun moving into Libra is really going to emphasize your social interactions, your connections with others. Now, there can be a look to working through relationship issues or diplomacy. This period is marked by a focus on you wanting to balance harmony in all of your relationships, be it friendship, business, or partnership. The 7th house also represents open enemies and exes. And so the sign of Libra wants to promote fairness and compromise and look for peaceful resolutions. The 7th house is not just the house of love, but it's also contractual agreements. And so the sun in Libra is encouraging you to seek these connections and to form these meaningful relationships with others that enhances your social life. It improves your ability to work well with others. There can be this strong desire for you to address these issues that are coming up. And so I encourage you to look to all types of contracts, whether they're written or nonverbal, like just assumed, and say, how can I look for the theme that I want to understand from your perspective? And I want to create these harmonious interactions. It's going to highlight the importance of love and beauty and harmony in where you want to move forward with others. From September 27th through October 14th, you're now going to have Mercury moving into your partnership sector. Mercury's transit through Libra really is now going to amp up your communication, your interactions with relationship dynamics. Mercury does really well here. Mercury is characterized by a focus on diplomacy and tact in the way that you communicate. Mercury in Libra is wanting to connect to contracts and negotiations. It gives you the ability to engage in balanced and fair discussions with partners, business partners, significant others, best friends, clients, all one-on-one relationships. The 7th house brings in social contracts and promises and the ability to work through conflict and legal matters. During this transit, you might find yourself more inclined to seek out harmony and to want to have this mutual understanding and hear the other person's point of view. And it'll be a really great time for you to refine your communication skills, for you to be able to listen actively to what the other person is is saying, in order for you to express your thoughts in a peaceful manner. This period supports all types of collaborative efforts, making it really easy for you to work with others and to find common ground. Be mindful that you don't over-compromise for other people and work from a space of indecisiveness. Mercury, thoughts, ideas, communication, and travel, and reading over the contracts. You're striving for this balance, but don't neglect your own needs, your own opinions. Use this time to enhance the social interactions in order for you to build these connections that you have with other people. Navigate the relationship dynamics with grace and diplomacy. Prepare for a month that is really marked by significant astrological events and aspects of the eclipse, and that starts this new karmic cycle, and all of these planets pushing you into a new direction. Work to have a mindset that is about flow into the next chapter of your life. So Aries, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer full moon and new moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Taurus Sun and Taurus Rising, we start the month off on September 2nd, 2024 with a new moon in the sign of Virgo. I absolutely love this for you because this is in a harmonious aspect to your first house of identity. The fifth house represents topics that have to do with children, creativity, art, music, and in the sign of Virgo is very structured and organized and wanting to have a plan. Now, there is a Mercury in Leo trine. So we have Mercury in your fourth house of home. So this is in a harmonious aspect with Chiron in your 12th house. This is bringing in topics that revolve around hidden fears and your home and needing to heal some wounds. And so this new moon is a powerful opportunity for new beginnings, a new fresh start. This is a new healing opportunity that is coupled with your home, emphasizing a triumph over past hurts that could foster personal growth, overcoming your fears, your 12th house fears. Virgo's influence really highlights the importance of health and organization and art and music and creativity with I need to start something new. I need to be thinking about myself. This is an ideal time for you to focus on what do I want to start? What do I want to begin? The fifth house being the house of excitement and recreation and love affairs and things that we do for creative outlets. We know that this is what you need to put into place and to improve your day-to-day tasks that they include fun, joy, and play somewhere in it. It cannot be all about work or all about play. This new moon's energy is really going to support the self-care that will come from and the healing that will come from this new moon of fun, joy, pleasure, taking a risk. So embrace this period to set intentions that will promote the long-term personal development of yourself, and utilizing this trine that it's creating a harmonious foundation of which you can build something on, that it's about self-improvement and your overall quality of life. On September 6th, Mars is now going to move into the sign of Cancer. Mars is the planet of passion and drive and willpower, and in the sign of Cancer, it's a watery sign. So fire and water, it struggles to move through the water. So it's a little bit debilitated here. It's in your third house of communication. And so this energy is going to mark a shift towards your home, your family matters, your real estate, in the way that you communicate with others. The third house is your relationship with your neighbors, your siblings, your cousins. It's who you communicate with on a day-to-day basis. It's also how we talk and exchange ideas, media, conversation. The third house is our daily commute. It's new skills. So it could be taking a class or taking a workshop. It's really important that you pay attention to what goes on during this time period, because there's going to be a retrograde where Mars is going to come back to this area in December December and January. Mars normally spends about 2 months in each sign with being ambitious and energetic. And now there's this heightened attention to your living situation, the way that you communicate, technology. What are you using to gather your information and to disseminate it and share it back with others? This could bring in topics that have to do with real estate projects. This is going to be the Mars retrograde shadow period, and Mars is going to come back to this area of your life that December and January, and it will want to cut and remove. So pay attention to make any constructive changes and address any unresolved issues that you now may have in order to strengthen the foundation of your home, the way that you communicate and with families and neighbors, and with the way that you use science and technology, the way that you gather information and data, because this is going to be the area of your life where Mars is going to go back and have you redo, rethink, revise, revamp with a knife in order to cut and make things easier for you to rebuild. On September 10th, 2024 until the 27th, Mercury is now going to be moving along with the sun into the sign of Virgo. So Mercury is very happy in Virgo. It's thoughts, ideas, communication. It's now sorting some things out. So again, this is in a trine to your first house of self. So we know that with the house of creativity, the house of children, the house of leisure activities, dating and affairs, the topics of I need to make this a day-to-day thing. I need to communicate. Mercury thrives with a plan. It wants to express itself. It wants to analyze. It wants to solve problems with precision, with clarity. And so expect an increase in the way that you are communicating. So if you are wanting to write anything, poetry, music, anything that has to do with what you want to create, what you want to share. You need a meticulous approach to something. Mercury in Virgo is perfect for this to happen. This is an opportunity for you to fine-tune your personal plans, to have a well-structured outcome for what you want. Mercury in Virgo really supports clear, concise, practical thinking and being organized, leading to these well-structured outcomes. And this can be a really great exchange of information, implementing these strategies in order to have overall improved efficiency with communication between you and siblings, you and a lover, you with projects or things that you are wanting to dive into. September 17th, the sun is going to be focused on your 5th house still. Remember that that's just going to be a topic for you that is going to be the majority of the month. And so the sun here is saying, I want to do this. And now we have this eclipse that's happening. And this is not just a full moon. This is a lunar eclipse, a supermoon. It's really starting and kicking off the next eclipse cycle of for the next 18 months. It's going to be at 25 degrees of Pisces, and so it marks a period of spiritual and emotional growth with what are your dreams, what are your goals, what are your hopes, who do you align yourself with in order to accomplish these things. The 11th house brings in topics of you connected to community. Pisces is very watery, psychic, intuitive, and it's being more in line with your dreams and the people that can help make those dreams come true. It's you wanting to support the collective, but it's also wanting to be part of the collective. You engaging in these deep spiritual practices that connect you to others. So work to focus on your intuition. Definitely pay attention to your dreams. Unblock channels. Be connected to water somehow. Enhance your spiritual awareness during this time. The veils between the two dimensions, they could be thinner, making these synchronicities or a realignment. Whenever the eclipses move into new signs, we have an ending of an old and the beginning of a new, and it's a bridge between, and it is moving you more in alignment with your destiny of where we have gotten off track. And so so how do we clean the karmic slates? How do we move forward? Eclipses, they signify this transition that emphasizes I need to be of service, but I need to make sure that it's about fun and joy and pleasure. And I need to heal and have some spiritual growth. And I want to connect with other people that are like-minded. So this is an opportune time for you to let go of past emotional hurts and baggage and embrace the new beginnings with this clear, more intuitive mindset. On September 23rd, we're now going to have the sun move into the sign of Libra. This is your day-to-day habits. The sixth house brings around about topics that have to do with how am I of service to other people, but I first have to take care of myself. It's my mental needs, my physical needs, my emotional needs. It is my day-to-day habits, and it's the caretaking of myself, like self-care, alternative health care. It's my routines. And so in the sign of Libra, it emphasizes social interactions with others, relationship challenges that can come up, diplomacy. The sixth house is our mental health, our physical health. It's am I taking these things into consideration and finding a balance between my home and my work? This is an opportunity where you're going to want to focus on peaceful resolutions, being fair, compromising. The sun in Libra wants to seek connections with other people to form these meaningful relationships. And so is this you seeking out someone that you can go to a sound bath with? Or seeking out, I want to look into Reiki healing, and I want to be around other practitioners, or I want to be around other people who are into alternative healing practices. This is an opportunity to enhance your social life and improve your ability to work with others. The sixth house is how do I first nurture and care for myself, and then how do I give back and share that with other people? There's going to be this strong desire to address these issues of relationship within partnership or friendship, or with a counselor or a mentor or a guide or a chiropractor. This is an ideal time for you to open up all forms of communications and negotiations and strive to understand different people's perspectives and be open to alternative healing opportunities in order to create these harmonious interactions for yourself. On September 27th until October 14th, Mercury is now going to join the sun in your sixth house. And so Mercury is thoughts and ideas and communication and travel. It's networking. It is all forms of writing and journaling, and how do I communicate within these social interactions with other people, these dynamics, in order to get the most out of my health care. Remember that the sixth house is I need to get rid of old habits. I need to focus on making my day-to-day living health and wellness a priority to myself before I can give to others, bringing in the information. So this could be you learning about a different modality, taking a workshop, taking a class, doing something that has you focused on being balanced in your health and your nutrition. This is an ideal time for you to resolve any conflicts or strengthen anything that you might want to work through that has to do with mental health, physical health. During this transit, you might find yourself more inclined to want to have this understanding about your connections with others. The sixth house revolves around topics that have to do with not just your mental and physical health and well-being, but it's where do I go to? Who do I seek out in order to gain this information? So it can be your aunts and your uncles, but it can also be a chiropractor or a doctor or a counselor or a shaman. It's where do I go to get advice from? And so you are being open in your communication and saying, I want to understand this. I want to work through this. I want to be optimal in my day-to-day practices. And you might be more inclined to seek out different types of communication skills or healing modalities at this time that can make it ideal for you to then turn around and share it with others. So prepare for a month that is really marked by significant astrological events and aspects that includes this eclipse season starting a new karmic cycle for you. Work to have the mindset of flow moving into the next chapter of your life. So Taurus, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer full moon and new moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. For Gemini Sun and Gemini Rising, on September 2nd, 2024, you are going to have a new moon in the sign of Virgo. Now, this is in your fourth house of home and family, your foundation. The fourth house represents your living situation. It's who lives with you and who you consider to be family, your ancestors, it's property, traditions. And so having a new moon here that is supported by Mercury in your third house of communication with Chiron in your 11th house of your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your goals. I love all of this together because this is this powerful opportunity for new beginnings, new healing, a new foundation for you to build your home upon. This lunar event is bringing about opportunities to heal over past hurts and to foster this personal growth that can come from building a stable foundation. Virgo's influence is about the importance of health and organization, and it's an ideal time to initiate, remember, fresh starts, clean slates, new beginnings, something that has to do with a routine, a schedule for yourself, improve something that has to do with your home. New moon energy is about starting something, beginning something, planting the seeds, and having these intentions that will promote long-term health and long-term benefits of something that's within your home or your family or your foundation. This is a moment to focus on any improvements that you can make in the way that you communicate and the goals that you want to move forward with. This is about improving your overall quality of life. On September 6, 2024, you're now going to have Mars move into your second sector of your money, your resources, your cash, your property. Mars does not do as well in the sign of Cancer because Cancer is a water sign. Mars wants to cut, it wants to remove. And in the second house, this has to do with your skill set, your talents, things that you need in order to feel secure. So Mars entering into the sign of Cancer is this shift to focusing on what do I need in order to feel secure? Money, family members, real estate, property, my skill set, cash, property. This transit is really important because there's going to be a retrograde in December and January where Mars is going to come back to this point in the sky. Mars normally takes 2 months to move through every single sign. And so during this time, it's highlighting an area where it's going to come back and it's going to want to cut and remove. So focus on this time where you need to reassess and realign with your priorities of making these constructive changes that have to do with unresolved money issues, strengthening your foundation of home, skill set, resources, mental, emotional, spiritual resources, security, your value systems. The second house also represents your sensual pleasures and your belongings. Knowing that as Mars moves through Cancer, make a mental note and say, this is where Mars is going to come back that December, January, and say that I need to cut and remove some things in order to streamline my life and make it a little bit easier. On September 10th, 2024 until the 27th, Mercury, which is your chart ruler, is now going to be moving into your home sector. So as a Gemini, you should follow Mercury wherever it goes. Whenever it stations retrograde, whatever house it's in, it governs 2 areas of your life, your home and who you are, your identity, things that you want to launch, begin, and do. And so Mercury moving into the sign of Virgo, your home sector, your family, your roots, your foundation, it's really going to be strong here, and it's going to want to improve efficiency. It's going to want to communicate clearly and express its energy with, what do you want to do with your home? Is this, I want to understand more about my ancestors. I want to, like, are you refinancing? What are you doing with your home that you need to communicate? And is this, like, are you fixing something up? Because it's not moving retrograde anymore, but it's communicating, these are the things that I need to take care of with real estate, property, traditions, landscaping. The fourth house also revolves around not just the home that I live in, but it's my city, my state, and my country. And so this will bring into focus and fine-tune your personal plans and the way that you communicate them, supporting clear and practical thinking and communication, leading to well-structured outcomes. I have a plan, I want to make this happen, and this is the order in which I'm going to do it. Use this time to be clear and concise and exchange ideas that you have with other people, and have the organizational skills that you can implement the strategies for overall efficiency to move forward with things that you want to begin or things that you are working on. On September 17th, 2024, Gemini, this is going to be big for you because this is starting a new eclipse cycle for you. The sun has you focused on your fourth house of your home and what you need in order for security. And so the eclipses are activating your career sector and your home sector. And so eclipses come in and they shift for a refocus, a realignment, and they stay in a sign for about 18 months. And so this will be a realignment of your karmic slate, making it a powerful time for healing and reflection, engaging in these deep spiritual practices that have to do with you being seen, your career path, your public life. The 10th house revolves around your ambitions, your goals, your reputation, things that you want to achieve. And so engaging in deep spiritual practices, connecting with water, this can help activate your intuition because I need to follow my intuition. I need to channel it and enhance my spiritual awareness. Usually when the eclipses move through the 4th and the 10th, it usually means a huge shift in your career, your job, and with your home. So during the 18 months, there can be a move or something going on at home, or a leaving of a job, or a movement or a shift of something that has to do with a job. I will have more on that, on a full breakdown of that. The veils between these two eclipses, because of these dimensions, we are at the end of the Aries Libra axis and the beginning of the Pisces Virgo axis. It's a transition that emphasizes themes of how can I be of service to myself and service to others? How can I heal? And how can I have spiritual growth with my career, my ambitions? I need to be more in line with these things. I need to balance things with home and things with my career, my reputation. This is going to be an opportune moment for you to really let go of your past emotional baggage and to embrace these new beginnings with clear, more intuitive mindset. From September 23rd to October 22nd, the sun is now going to be moving through the sign of Libra, which happens to be your 5th house of children, creativity, what I want to do that brings me joy and pleasure. It's where I take a risk. I go out on a limb. I want to do something new and different and fun and exciting. And so it's really going to be emphasizing for you social interactions. This is in a trine to your 1st house of self. So we know that this is you wanting to explore some new avenues. This could have to do with relationship challenges, being diplomatic about some things. This period is going to be marked by a focus on finding balance and harmony in your relationships, either with children, healing your inner child, or with creativity. Libra's energy really wants to promote fairness and compromise and have these peaceful resolutions. And the sun in Libra is saying, I need to seek out connections. I need to have meaningful relationships with other people. I need to enhance my social life. I need to get out there. I need to live. I need to improve my ability to live, work, and have fun, joy, and pleasure with other people. So during this time, there's going to be this strong desire to address any relationship issues, because Libra wants to find the balance in this, and making this an ideal time period for open communication, the ability to negotiate. Diplomacy is going to be a key here as you strive to understand different people's perspective and wanting to create harmonious interactions, wanting to actively listen to what they're saying, and having this appreciation for Libra ruled things, Venus, so which is love and beauty and art and music and creativity. Gemini, from September 27th to October 14th, Mercury is now going to transit through Libra. Remember what we said about Mercury being your chart ruler, so it brings in topics that have to do with you, your identity, your outlook, how people perceive you, and how you perceive like how you are perceived. I always say it's your business card, your website, because it's your first house of identity, and it rolls over home topics for you. As it moves into your fifth house, it brings in the desire to communicate, what do I want to do? The fifth house is fun and joy and pleasure and where I want to take a risk. The fifth house brings in where I'm willing to make an investment. Mercury is thoughts and ideas and communication and travel, and it is contracts and negotiations. It's how we write. And so at this time, you could be writing poetry, anything that involves creative writing or creative music. Libra emphasizes these social interactions and you needing to get out there and interact with other people, having these different relationship dynamics. Mercury in Libra is really going to enhance your ability to engage in these balanced and fair discussions with other people that can strengthen your partnerships. During this transit, you might find yourself more inclined to look for mutual understandings in people's relationships, like listening, actively listening to other people and communicating and expressing your thoughts in a considerate manner. This period is going to support you having these collaborative efforts, saying, I want to take a yoga class, I want to take a Reiki, I want to create this art. It's you taking a risk and saying, I want to get on out there, and how do I communicate this? Am I going to make friends at this? Am I going to network with this? Be mindful that the potential for indecisiveness can be a little overwhelming, and you might overcompensate. So look to seek out a balance between what you want, and don't neglect your own needs, wants, and desires during this time period. Enhance these social interactions. Get out there. Build these stronger connections for yourself. Navigate relationships dynamics with grace and diplomacy. Prepare for a month that is marked by significant astrological aspects and events that really bring you in alignment with your destiny. This season is starting off a new karmic cycle for you, and so you need to have the mindset of flow for your next chapter. So Gemini, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer full moon and new moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Cancer Sun and Cancer Rising, I want to start September off with September 2nd, 2024, as you are going to have a new moon at 11 degrees of Virgo in your third house of communication. The third house represents siblings, neighbors, cousins, your neighborhood, taking a class, taking a workshop. It's how you communicate, how you take in information, how you disseminate it and share it again with other people. I love this for you because we have Mercury in your second house of your self-worth, your cash, your property, in a harmonious aspect with Chiron at the top of your chart that has to do with your reputation, your goals, the things that you want to do with your career and your life path. So all of this is bringing together the things that you have been going through and merging it into a story that's a powerful opportunity for new beginnings that have to do with healing. New beginnings, the new moon is always a fresh start, clean slate, planting of the seeds. And since we have the Leo with Mercury and Chiron in Aries, it's supporting how do I move past past hurts? How do I foster personal growth? What is my life path and things that have happened to me? And how do I express that into words? Do I put it in a journal? Do I put it in a blog? Do I share it with others? Who do I share it with? How do I share it? The third house has to do with all types of conversation, media, where we formulate our thoughts and our ideas. And so this going on all at the same time is really improving your efficiency to put down into words the things that are going on with you, the transition that you've been working through. It brings up the importance of your day-to-day health and well-being, your needing a health checkup, needing to tap in and say, I have to care for myself. Self-care is really important. And how do I communicate that with others? And how do I reorganize my space? What does that look like? And wanting to have a sense of accomplishment that comes from getting through a lot of these things. And so this will be an opportunity for you to improve your efficiency in your day-to-day tasks and give you the opportunity for greater productivity, a more sense of accomplishment. The new moon's energy here is going to say, I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to articulate my thoughts about my well-being, and I'm going to embrace this period to set these new intentions to promote long-term health for myself, for my personal development. So I encourage you to utilize this harmonious trine and communicate these healing of your wounds and creating this solid foundation for your future growth. On September 6, 2024, Mars is now going to enter into your first house of yourself, your identity. Mars does not do as well in water as it does in fire signs and other signs. So Mars in Cancer is an opportunity for you to focus on you, your identity, how you look, how you feel, being seen, your defense mechanisms. Mars here has an opportunity. Mars wants to cut, and it brings about my desires, my interests. The first house is all about you. And so there's going to be this significant shift towards home, family, real estate, my traditions, and what is changing with me and those topics. The transit is really important because what is going on now during the December and January retrograde, Mars is going to come back here. December that Mars only takes about 2 months to go through every single sign. So Mars is coming through the sign, and then it's going to retrograde December and January. And when it does, it will spend a long time here, and it will bring to the forefront where you further need to reassess and realign your priorities. So try to be proactive during this transit and focus on your living situation, your family dynamics, real estate projects that you have going on. Try to be mindful of this is the retrograde shadow period, and that you're going to have to reassess and realign your priorities in this area of your life of what do you want to launch? What do you want to begin? What do you want to do? What is changing with you and your identity? Try to make these constructive changes and address any unresolved issues and strengthen your foundations at home. The first house, I always say, represents your business card and your website. It's your identity. And so knowing that December, January, you're going to come back and want to cut and remove some of the things that you are working on now, just be proactive and try to think ahead of this impending retrograde, because Mars coming back here is really going to bring this area of your life back into focus for a revamp, a rechange, all of the rewords, refocus, realignment, a redo. Mars wants to cut and sever. And so this will be you changing something about you and your identity. So make note of what's going on now, knowing that you will readdress these things, these topics later. From September 10th to the 27th, Mercury is now going to be moving into your third house of communication in the sign of Virgo. Mercury loves to be in Virgo. It's one of its signs. It rules over your 12th house and it rules over your third house of communication. And so think that all of your communication is now going to get a little bit easier for you. The third house represents your siblings, your neighbors, your cousins. It's classes and workshops. It's your neighborhood. It's you communicating effectively, having the ability to get organized, improve your efficiency, pay attention to detail. Mercury, being the planet of intellect in its home sign of Virgo, it thrives here. It wants to express its energy at its best. And so this is really going to be a good time for you to do any of the detailed work, to go through any paperwork that you have to this could be looking at classes and workshops. The third house also represents how you gather information. So I want you to be thinking letters and books and the news and gossip, and it's basic education. And it's how do I take this information and align it and then disseminate it and share it back with others. And so this transit is really going to encourage you to have this perseverance with meticulous approach to your tasks, ensuring that nothing is overlooked, paying attention to the details, whether you're tackling complex projects or reorganizing your workspace or connecting with neighbors or fine-tuning your personal plans. Mercury in Virgo is really going to be supporting you on your practical thinking, leading to these well-structured outcomes for you. Use this time to enhance all of your organization skills and your strategies that can improve your overall efficiency for your health and well-being. The sign of Virgo really wants to take care of the day-to-day tasks, and it's about your mental, physical, spiritual, emotional health and well-being. And so this is saying, I need to have a plan. I need to be clear and concise and organized and not over plan. So Cancer, on September 17th, 2024, anything that happens to the moon, knowing that that's your chart ruler, is really going to be big for you. And so we have the sun ruling your identity in your third house of communication. We've spent a lot of time talking about that and who you communicate with and things that are closer to home. And you're going to have this supermoon, full moon, lunar eclipse at 25 degrees Pisces. So this is starting a new cycle for you. It is overlapping the Aries Libra and now starting the Virgo Pisces eclipse cycle, emphasizing themes of service, needing to take care of myself, but also needing healing and needing spiritual growth. How do I stay in tune with other people that are from my tribe? I need time to heal. This is a new beginning, embracing more clear, intuitive mindset for you. The things that you are going through is about clearing karmic slates for you, making this a really powerful time to heal and connect to the spiritual realm. The veils between the dimensions could be thinner at this time because Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It's a water sign. It's about needing to be near water, in water, and receiving those dreams and those clear messages, encouraging you to take those deep spiritual practices and take them one step further in order for you to activate your intuition, to unblock any channels that are holding you back, enhance your spiritual awareness. I absolutely love this for you because this is ending of a cycle that has to do with your home and your career, and starting of a new cycle that could have to do with different ways of you communicating and some traveling and connecting with other like-minded individuals. The ninth house is cross-cultural experiences with other people, places, and things. It's the house of publishing and legal matters. So we know that you are now aligning yourself with a new chapter of your life. On September 23rd, 2024, the sun is now going to be moving into your fourth house of home, your family, your traditions. The fourth house also represents your real estate, your property. I say that it's like your home and your foundation, but it also is your city, your state, your country. So that being said, there's going to be this emphasis on social interactions, you with other people, relationship challenges, diplomacy. Libra is the sign of the scales, and it wants everything to be balanced, fair, and equitable. So this period is going to be marked by a focus on balance and harmony and relationships between anybody that lives in your home, and this could be with grandparents, well, anybody that lives in your home, so children, or I would say your family relationships and your upbringing. These topics can be brought up at this time. There's going to be a desire to want to find harmony, to promote fairness, to look at things through the lens of compromise and peaceful resolutions. The Sun in Libra wants you to seek these connections with meaningful relationships to enhance your social life and your ability to work with others. The Sun rules over your second house of your self-worth, your resources, your skill set. So there can be this time that you might need to address and resolve some of these relationship issues. And I would encourage you to focus on the importance of understanding people and their different perspectives to things in order to create these harmonious aspects. From September 27th to October 14th, Mercury is now going to be in your fourth house of your home. So now all domestic issues are now going to be brought to the forefront. Remember that the fourth house is not just about home and family, but it's about your past. It's about your personal life. It's your living situation. It's your family relationships that you have. And Mercury here, Mercury is how do I communicate it? Mercury is thoughts and ideas, and it's also documentation or contracts or negotiations, and it's paperwork. So this could be about ancestors or finding out things or diving into these topics. Mercury's transit through Libra brings about more topics that have to be revolving around tact, open communication, needing diplomacy, wanting to resolve conflicts. How do I strengthen my partnership, or how do I seek harmony and mutual understandings within these relationships or within these partnerships? Because it's navigating the fourth house of home means I can go younger and it could be my children, or I could go older and it could be my parents. It could be you being sandwiched in between and saying, how do I navigate this? How do I communicate between the generations? This is going to be a really good, ideal time for you to resolve any conflicts, build these stronger connections, navigate relationship dynamics with grace and diplomacy. So Cancer, prepare for a month that's really going to be marked by these astrological events and aspects that include the eclipse season, starting this new karmic cycle for you. Work to have a mindset of flow for the next chapter of your life and step into it with ease and grace. So Cancer, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer full moon and new moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com, and to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Leo Sun and Leo Rising, I want to start the month off with September 2nd, 2024. You are having a new moon in your second house. I love this for you because it's about your cash, your property, your skill set, it's your talents. It's things that you need in order to feel safe and secure, emotionally, physically, spiritually. The second house revolves around how do you support yourself and what is your value system. So the other things that are supporting it is you have Mercury in your first house of yourself, your identity, and it's in a harmonious aspect with Chiron in your ninth house of cross-cultural experiences, or wanting to publish things, wanting to take a class, wanting to take a workshop. I want to travel there. I want to understand those things. And so all of this is moving you towards this beautiful opportunity for new beginnings and an opportunity for healing. This lunar event is emphasizing your past hurts with Chiron and fostering personal growth, because this is about you. things that you want to launch or do. The first house always represents like your business card or your website. It's your identity. It's how people see you. And so Virgo's influence is really important for, I have to take care of my health. I have to create healthy habits. Does that mean getting my money in order? Does that mean getting my day-to-day habits in order? I need to get structured. I need to get organized. I need to reorganize my space and my life. I need to improve my efficiency and my day-to-day tasks that can lead to greater productivity and a sense of accomplishment. I want these things for me. The moon here is really supporting the focus on detail of self-care, well-being, and your skill set and your talents. It's a period of promoting long-term health care and your personal development about what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? What do you want to publish? What classes do you want to take? The ninth house revolves around topics that have to do with your ideals and your beliefs, and it's legal matters, it's wisdom, it's learning, it's access to all these things. And so this new moon is a moment to focus on your self-care improvements that will enhance your overall quality of life for you and your skill set in order for you to feel safe and secure. On September 6, 2024, Mars is now going to enter into the sign of Cancer, which is your 12th house. Now, Mars does not do as well in Cancer because it is a water sign as it would in fire signs, like other signs. And so Mars, think of it as a sharp blade in water. It struggles here a little bit. And so this is going to mark a significant shift in your focus towards home, family matters, real estate, things that are hidden, dark, secrets. There can be things that have come up. The 12th house revolves around our shadow self. It's our personal unconscious. It's secrets, scandals. It's where we connect to divine. The 12th house is our karmic debts and how do we heal and renew. It's kind of like a hidden house, and it's about our mystical experiences. And so Mars, the important thing about this is during this time, Mars goes through a sign about every 2 months. And so your attention is on your living situation, your family dynamics, secrets, topics, karma. How do I relieve myself from all of this? And then in December, the end of December and January, Mars is going to come back to this point and it's going to station retrograde. As it does, this is going to have you further emphasize the need for you to reassess and realign your priorities in these areas. How do I get rid of these karmic debts? Where do I see this generational trauma being passed down from one to another? How can I clear this from my debt? How do I heal and renew? This is going back through either dreams, past life regressions, the Akashic records, going back and saying, I need to understand where this came from. I need to be able to move on and heal from this. And I need to focus on building a foundation, building the home of me, of like what my family members, my what has caused, what has created who I am, and how do I clear this out? How do I tap into my angels and my guides for the spiritual connection, the spiritual messages? The theme during this time period is going to be knowing that I'm going to go back and reassess in order to realign, and I need to make the constructive changes and move towards them now, and knowing that any unresolved issues will come back up again for a redo, a refocus. Whenever a planet stations retrograde, it's everything, realign, refocus, readdress. And Mars wants to cut and it wants to sever. And how do I make constructive changes to move me towards my best and highest good? On September 10th to the 27th, Mercury is now going to be moving into your second house, really bringing up the attention to your money, your resources, your cash, your property, your skill set, like everything that has to do with you, your finances, your opinions, the second house is about your spending goals, your income, your possessions. Mercury does really well in the sign of Virgo. And so it's an opportunity for you to like lay out your bills, lay out everything and say, I need to do better at what I'm doing here. I can solve these problems with precision and clarity. Mercury here really wants to bring you in alignment with being productive and having a strong focus on refining your routines. I need to pay attention and have this meticulous approach and be I need to persevere with looking at all of my finances and have this approach to things that nothing is overlooked. Where is my money going? Where do I need to support myself with clear and concise practical thinking? Because with Mercury moving into Virgo, it's contracts, negotiations, talking, sharing, gathering ideas. This could be somebody else giving you an idea of where your money could be best spent or best saved, or how to pay off something, or science and technology of how can I use the internet to streamline some things in my life. Mercury in Virgo wants everything to be organized and structured, from your workspace to your home environment. It wants you to fine tune and tweak your personal plans. It wants you to do this in order to support your mental, physical, spiritual health and well-being. This is really going to be an ideal time for you to have this clear, concise exchange of ideas with others, and to enhance your organizational skills and to implement these strategies that will improve your overall efficiency of your money, of your resources, of getting everything organized and in line so that nothing is overlooked, allowing you to say, I feel like things are chaotic when my life is not organized. And when everything is organized, I have more time to take care of me. And so definitely use this time to plan out your work, your money, your resources, and your day-to-day habits of things that you want to do, to accomplish, so that you can manage it all in one fell swoop. Now on September 17th, 2024, you are going to experience a full moon, supermoon, lunar eclipse. The sun has you focused on your money and your resources, and then this is where the shift comes in with the eclipse happening in your 8th house of shared resources. So during this lunar eclipse, because it's in the sign of Pisces, the veils between these two dimensions, they can be a little bit thinner, and so it makes synchronicities and breakthroughs more likely. Pay attention to your dreams, your intuition. The 8th house for you is you connected with other people, you with shared resources. This could be with a business partner, a significant other, an ex. This could be with family members, because the 8th house is the house of karmic, deep connections. It's the house of psychological healing, transformation after loss. It's the house of death and sexuality. It is a deep house. And so this period is going to mark a significant time for spiritual and emotional growth, where you are going to want to feel connected to other people and clear out any karmic slates that you've had with other people that you've had deep bonding experiences with, making this a powerful time of healing and reflection of, I'm ready to move on past this. I understand it. I see it. I want to unblock these channels. I want to enhance my spiritual awareness. I want to connect with others. And so this eclipse signifying the transition between the Aries Libra axis. So we have an ending of one cycle and the beginning of a new cycle, that it's an opportune time of, I need to focus on service, which is going to be connected to your money and resources, and with healing and spiritual growth, you connected with other people, you in deep bonding experiences with partners or family, or like this could be business partners or anybody that you have this heartfelt connection with them. It's going to be an opportune time for you to let go of the baggage that's holding you back and embrace this new beginning with a clear, more intuitive mindset. Leo, I absolutely love this for you. So for Virgo Sun and Virgo Rising, on September 2nd, you are going to have a beautiful new moon in your first house of self. Know that the first house, it's about topics of you, your identity, who you present yourself to the world. I always say it's like your business card or your website. The first house is you being seen. It's your desires, your interests, your outlooks. It's things that you want to start and begin. And so this new moon has Venus in Leo in a harmonious aspect with Chiron in Aries. Venus in Leo is in your 12th house of the hidden, what's behind the scenes. And Chiron in Aries is in your 8th house of your shared resources, you connected with other people. So this new moon at 11 degrees brings about topics of powerful opportunities in order for you to have new beginnings that revolve around healing. Self-sabotage comes from the 12th house, and the 8th house revolves around topics of psychological hidden traumas. And so Chiron in the sign of Aries is you having this opportunity to heal your identity of your first house that's encouraging you to move past hurts that can foster personal growth from within. Virgo's influence really brings out the topics of health and better nutrition and better organization with topics about you. You taking your mental, physical, spiritual health and well-being and making it a priority before you nurture and care for others. This is going to be an ideal time for you to initiate a wellness routine, to look back and say, how am I presenting myself? Am I taking the time to focus on myself and plant these seeds for these new beginnings that revolve around topics of a wellness routine, reorganizing my space, things that I want to accomplish. What do I personally want to have greater productivity and accomplish for myself? Noting that the harmonious aspect is setting up opportunities for you to promote long-term health and personal development goals for yourself that are very attainable. An opportunity for you to create this foundation for your future growth. This is a moment to focus on self-improvement and enhancing your overall quality of life. On September 6, 2024, Mars is then going to enter into your 11th house of your goals, your dreams, your hopes, your wishes, your aspirations in the sign of Cancer. Mars in a water sign is debilitated, meaning it doesn't do as well. Mars wants to initiate, it wants to go after, to fire up, to bring about what it wants to cut and remove, like to move straight forward like a warrior. And this marks a huge shift where your focus is now going to be on home, family matters, topics that revolve around who do you connect with? Who do you want to align with? The 11th house brings in your group activities or shared creativity. The 11th house is where you volunteer in order to help support the collective or with groups that you truly want to belong to, knowing that you are definitely going to be coming back to these topics. Mars generally spends about 2 months in a sign before moving on. What's notable about this is Mars is going to be retrograde and coming back to these same topics. So make note of what is happening now. During this time, pay attention to your living situation, any family dynamics, your group dynamics, things that are going on within the group, your dreams, your goals, things that you want to initiate. Because the retrograde shadow period is happening, and this is going to further emphasize the need for you to reassess and realign these priorities in these areas of your life. Utilize the energy that's happening now to make these constructive changes, address any unsolved issues, and strengthen your foundations at home, because in December and in January, when Mars is retrograde, you're going to go back and revise, reflect, review, and renew some of these goals and topics. From September 10th until the 27th, Mercury, which is your chart ruler, is now moving into your first house of identity. I love this for you because Mercury rules not only your first house of your identity, it also rules over your 10th house of your career, your job, your legacy, your reputation, authority figures, your responsibilities. And so Mercury moving into Virgo is going to really enhance your ability to organize, to increase your efficiency. So it's you paying attention to the minute details. Mercury being the planet of communication and networking and traveling and intellect in its home sign of Virgo, really it thrives here. It wants to express its energy best here. This is going to be a period that's going to be ideal for work. So are you working on a new project, a new goal? Are you working on your website, your business card, something that has to do about something that you want to launch, something that you want to do? This is going to be the perfect planet to help you increase your productivity, to refine your focus, your routines. This transit is going to encourage perseverance and a meticulous approach to all of your tasks, ensuring that nothing gets overlooked. Whether you're tackling complex projects or reorganizing your workspace or your home space, or reorganizing something that has to do with you, your goals, things that you want to come out with. This is you saying, I can fine-tune my personal plans. I can have this practical thinking that leads to well-structured outcomes. This time really favors your effective communication and being articulate in what you are saying and what you want to do for your responsibilities, your job, your career, your reputation, allowing for clear and concise exchanges of your thoughts and your ideas, the way that you communicate either with contracts or with your words or with written agreements. Utilize this period to enhance your organizational skills and implement strategies that will really improve your overall efficiency of nurturing and caring for yourself, and how do you bring that in balance with your home and your work life. On September 17th, 2024, the sun still has a focus on you and your identity, but now we are moving into a full moon, a supermoon, and it's a lunar eclipse at 25 degrees of Pisces in your partnership sector. The 7th house for you represents you with somebody else, a business partner, a client, a best friend, a significant other. This could be open enemies and exes. The 7th house is where we have these contractual agreements, whether they're verbal or not, and their agreements that how we handle conflict and legal matters. In the sign of Pisces, this marks a significant period of spiritual and emotional growth with you in partnership with others. Full moons always reveal, and a lunar eclipse, it reveals what was once hidden and now offers you something new. They generally bring about an ending and a closure with a new beginning that follows shortly after. This event really invites you to understand the different perspectives and of other people and what they're bringing into the table of connecting with you and your relationship with them. This also gives you an opportunity to clear some karmic slates, making this a really powerful time for you to have healing and reflection in all forms of partnership, the way that you talk, exchange ideas, of how you show up for others and how they show up for you. This can be a beautiful time when you can connect and activate your intuition. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, and so this is unblocking channels for you, enhancing your spiritual awareness. The veils between the two dimensions can be thinner during this eclipse, making the synchronicities and the opportunities for breakthroughs more likely for you, whether it's connecting up with somebody, hearing a song, finding something, having a dream, intuition, everything just all aligning up. This eclipse signifies the transition between the Aries Libra axis into the Virgo Pisces eclipse cycle for you, emphasizing themes of service, service to others, healing, and spiritual growth for you in the two areas of you and partnership. For the next 18 months, this is going to be one of the focuses that this moment is going to be allowing you to let go of past emotional baggage and to embrace this new beginning with clear, more intuitive mindset when it comes to topics regarding your identity and you in conjunction with other people. On September 23rd to October 22nd, the sun, which was in your first house of self, has now moved into your second house of your skill set, your talents, your self-worth. The second house revolves around topics of your movable property, your money, your resources. What do you need in order to feel comfortable or secure? And in the sign of Libra, it's emphasizing these social interactions, relationship challenges, the idea of diplomacy in finding security. This period is about fairness and compromise and peaceful resolutions in what is mine and what belongs to other people. What do I value? The second house has to do with mental, emotional, and spiritual resources, not just your cash and your skill set. The sun moving into Libra is you seeking out these connections with other people to form meaningful relationships, enhancing your social life, and improving your ability to work with others. Libra wants to find a balance. What is yours and what is you with other people? What is where your resources are tapped into other people? And so there can be this strong drive to address and resolve any relationship issues, making this an ideal period for you to have open communications and in negotiations. Diplomacy is going to be key as you strive to understand people's different perspectives of where they're coming from and wanting to create these harmonious interactions with others. This transit is going to highlight also things that the ruling planet of Libra is Venus, and so it's things about love and beauty and money and worth and art and just your personal resources about what do you find the most valuable and what is that worth to you. From September 27th to October 14th, Mercury is now going to be transiting into your second house. Remember that Mercury is very important to you because it is your chart ruler. It rules over you and your identity and your house of career, reputation, the legacy, being seen as an authority figure. The 10th house is business-related achievement, your goals. And so wherever Mercury rules or wherever Mercury goes, that's where your attention should really focus on. So Mercury now moving into your second house of this is what I value. This is my skill set. These are my talents. This is my self-worth. You asking for what your worth is. The second house with Mercury here is now emphasizing the social interactions and the relationship dynamics that you can have between you and others. It's in a harmonious aspect with your 10th house of your career, your reputation, and your 6th house of your day-to-day living, your day-to-day habits, of you needing to take care of yourself and finding this balance with your ability and the things that you bring to the table, engaging in these fair discussions, making this really an ideal time for you to resolve any conflicts and strengthen any partnerships. I love Mercury moving into the sign of Libra because you're now going to find that you're seeking out harmony and mutual understanding in things that you value, and that includes people, places, and things. The second house revolves around your money and your finances and your skill set and your opinions and your talents. It's about sensual pleasures. It's your belongings. It's your value system. And so this period really supports these collaborative efforts, making it easier for you to work with others in order to find a common ground. Now, I'm encouraging you to prepare for this month that is going to be marked with these significant astrological events and these aspects that include the eclipse season that starts this new karmic cycle for you, that it revolves around topics of you and in partnership, knowing that those two areas of your life are going to be shifting and changing and evolving and growing over the next 18 months. Look to have this mindset that I need to work from a space of flow to move into the next chapter of my life. So Virgo, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer full moon and new moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Libra Sun and Libra Rising, I want to start off with September 2nd, 2024, where you are having a new moon in your 12th house. Remember that new moons, they always bring about new beginnings, fresh starts, clean slates. The 12th house is the hidden house. It's our connection to divine or spirit. It's where we go to collect ourselves and to be alone and meditate. It's about healing and renewing. It's a time where we transcend and connect to the divine in order to heal, renew, and come out again. And so what's supporting this is Mercury in your 11th house of your dreams and your goals and your connections in a harmonious aspect with Chiron in your partnership sector. Remember that the 7th house is you plus somebody else. This could be a client, a best friend, a significant other, but it's a harmonious aspect that's supporting this new moon. And so in the sign of Virgo, it brings about this powerful opportunity for new beginnings with healing of you. The 12th house is where we go to withdrawal, have these mystical experiences, connect with our dreams and our intuition, to our ancestors, our spirit guides, our past lives, yoga, meditation, and it's coupled with Mercury and Chiron offering you an opportunity to move on past hurts and to foster this personal growth from within. Virgo's influence highlights the importance of good health and organization. And so this is mental health and physical health and your spiritual health. This is tapping in and saying, what do I need in order to do better? And the organization is, I have to plan this daily self-care into my day-to-day habits. Virgo's influence wants you to initiate this refreshed wellness routine for yourself and recognize your space of, I need to improve my efficiency in my day-to-day tasks, whether that means getting enough sleep, getting enough rest, working on yoga, meditation, seeing a counselor, seeing a mentor. I need to focus on these daily tasks in order to have a greater productivity and a sense of accomplishment. But first, I have to nurture and care for myself. The new moon's energy supports detailed attention for self-care and your well-being. Remember that the 12th house is more of isolation, and it can be hospitalizations and afflictions and institutions. So you can use this as an opportunity to say, I'm going to set intentions that promote my long-term health and personal development, a way towards healing, and utilizing the harmonious trine to communicate that I need to move on past these hurts. I need to move on past these wounds. I have to have this solid foundation in order for me to experience healthy future growth. Use this as an opportunity to improve and enhance your overall quality of life for this new moon lunation. On September 6, 2024, you are going to have Mars move into your 10th house of career, job, responsibility, legacy. It's the top of your chart. Mars does not always do well in the sign of Cancer. They consider it to be debilitated. It has to work harder. This is important because this is a shift that's moving your focus towards home, family members, real estate, matters that come to how do I balance my home and my work career, things that have to do with a boss, honors, awards, your personal ambition, where you are responsible, things that you want to achieve, promotions. The reason that this is so important is because Mars is going to come back to this area of your life in December and January when it stations retrograde. Mars generally spends about 2 months per sign, and this is going to be an extended period of time because it's going to be ambitious, energetic, and have this theme that I need to quickly cut and remove and line up my domestic life, my career, my job, my responsibility. I need to work towards aligning my priorities in this area of my life. So expect heightened attention to your living situation, your career, your reputation, authority figures, you being seen as an authority figure, because the retrograde shadow is going to begin, and you are going to need to come back and reassess, realign, reconfigure. Whenever a planet stations retrograde, it's all of the words that are associated with that. So it's a redo, realign, reconfigure, the themes that have to do with Mars. Where do I cut? Where do I remove? And how do I move forward to resolve these issues? So make constructive changes at this time and address any unresolved issues in order to strengthen your foundation for your career and for your home. And know that you will be readdressing some of these in the December-January timeframe. On September 10th to the 27th, you are now going to have Mercury move into your 12th house in the sign of Virgo. Remember that the 12th house is the house of isolation, and it's the house of communication, where you can communicate with dreams, intuition, astral travel, astral projection, diving into things that are of the unknown. This will enhance your ability to organize, improve efficiency, pay attention to detail. I like Mercury in the 12th house because it's where it thrives in the sign of Virgo, where you can express the energy best of understanding what you're seeing, hearing, knowing, feeling, and connecting to something that is not of here. And so this could be through your dreams. This could be through yoga, meditation. This could be through, let's say that you do a past life regression, or you want to do astral travel, astral projection, tapping into the Akashic records in order to understand some things. This transit could have you studying about it or diving into those topics, where it is encouraging you to persevere and be meticulous in your approach to all of these tasks, and to see that nothing is overlooked. Whether you're seeking to meet a goal or reorganize things that are, like at home, the 12th house revolves around self-sacrifice, things that take us away from day-to-day living. So knowing that you are doing things behind the scene in order to have this clear and concise exchange of ideas, wanting to understand things, like I want to understand my dreams. I want to make sure that what I'm feeling, what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing, like studying it, getting with somebody like a shaman or somebody else that can guide you through some of the messages that you may be receiving. Use this period to enhance the information that's coming to you in order to implement these strategies for overall efficiency of your day-to-day living. Virgo wants you to be healthy, mentally, physically, spiritually healthy. And so Mercury moving into your 12th house is, I need to understand what's going on so I don't repeat the same patterns over and over again, so I can free and heal myself from these things. And so this could be a study into that, or wanting to understand your past. Like, let's dive into your ancestors and your DNA, or anything that has to do with things that are passed down from one generation to another. On September 17th, 2024, we are going to have a full moon, supermoon, Libra eclipse, lunar eclipse at 25 degrees Pisces. Now, the sun is in your 12th house, bringing about all topics of you being away, you being hidden, you working on yourself and connecting to the spiritual realm, your subconscious mind. The full moon eclipse is happening in your 6th house of your day-to-day health, welfare. The 6th house is what you do to take care of yourself on a day-to-day basis. I like it because it's getting rid of old habits. It'll bring to your attention alternative healing and different modalities of how can I work through with what I'm going through. It's connecting to somebody who can guide you, or a mentor. This could be a shaman. This could be a chiropractor. This could be a counselor. This could be a mentor. This could be a friend. The sixth house is pets, nutrition, diet, illness. It is the house of self-care and alternative health and healing. And so with this lunar eclipse, something can now be revealed that you didn't know now. Like we could have an ending of one phase and the beginning of another. Having a full moon lunar eclipse at 25-degree Pisces marks this really significant period for spiritual and emotional growth, like wanting to understand, feel it, and having this connection. The veil between the dimensions can be thinner at this time, making the synchronicities line up more easily for you, or breakthroughs more easily. So, having a connection to water, or taking a nice bath, or a shower, or something that has to do with a connection to this cycle, because it's an in-between cycle. It's the transition between the old, which was Aries and Libra, between your partnership and you, and now moving into my daily habits and my doing the shadow work areas of my life, is emphasizing themes of service, first service to yourself and then service to others, and healing and spiritual growth. This is going to be an opportune moment for you to let go of any past emotional baggage and to embrace these new beginnings with this clear, more intuitive mindset. This is being in tune with what your mind, body, and spirit are telling you and saying, this is what I need. It's a powerful time for healing and reflection. I absolutely love this for you. On September 23rd to October 22nd, the sun is now moving into your sign. So it's leaving from the shadows. It's the sun in the 12th house for you is a little bit more difficult because it's the hidden. It's where I have to do the inner work. It's your light cannot shine. And so now the sun moving into your first house of self is going to be a ray of sunshine for you. It's like a breakthrough and liberating you to, yay, I can now socially interact with other people again. I can experience this with more focus and more balance. I can have harmony in my relationships. I want to be able to connect and talk to all kinds of people. I'm going to have this strong desire to address and resolve any issues that have been coming up, because now it's time to find the balance. It's time to shine. This is an ideal time for you to communicate and to bring about any conversations that there might need to be a negotiation or a compromise with. Diplomacy is going to be a key because it's about you and other people as you strive to understand the different perspectives and create these harmonious interactions with people. This transit's going to highlight the importance of the appreciation of aesthetics. The sun in your first house is about your identity. So this is an opportunity for you to say, I'm ready to try something new with my hair, my makeup, my clothes, the things that I want to do, my identity. I am ready for beauty, art, and love. I am ready to shine again. Now, from September 27th to October 14th, we're now going to look at Mercury coming out of the shadows, out of the 12th house, and now into your first house of self. I love this because this is going to emphasize you becoming the social butterfly, you communicating. Mercury in the first house can be you refining what you are doing for business card, website, how you communicate or share ideas about what you want to do with classes or workshops, or learning or cross-cultural experiences. Mercury rules over your 12th house and your 9th house of cross-cultural experiences and education and religion and spirituality and publishing, and you taking all of those ideas and now saying, this is who I am, this is what I've learned. And so it's going to be characterized by heightened focus on the way that you communicate. Is this through email, phone, text? What are you putting out there for everybody to see? What are you sharing with everybody? Wanting to resolve any conflicts, strengthen any partnerships that you have. Be mindful, because there's a downside to this that could be being indecisive or compromising for other people. I encourage you to strive for balance and don't neglect your own needs, your own opinions, your own values. Remember that the first house is your personality, it's your appearance. It is you being seen, your identity. And so this is going to be a beautiful collaborative time that you can make it easier for you to communicate with other people. They're now going to see you socially interacting again. This is like coming out of the shadows and now being back to 100% of now I feel better about myself, of where I can go, what I can do. I feel more in tune and more in line, and I'm able to communicate that clearly with others. Libra, I would encourage you to prepare for a month that is marked by significant astrological events and aspects, including the eclipse season, now moving you towards needing to focus on your health and your well-being. This is a new karmic cycle for you. Work to have a mindset of flow for the next chapter that you are moving into. So Libra, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer full moon and new moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Scorpio Sun and Scorpio Rising, you are having a new moon in your 11th house. I absolutely love this for you because this is who do you connect with? Your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your aspirations, your goals. The 11th house is your collective activities that you do with other people, whether it be with teams or peers or kindred spirits. It's truly your community and how you connect with and support your community. A new moon in Virgo, it's going to be at 11 degrees, and we have Mercury in a harmonious aspect with Chiron. Mercury is in your 12th, Mercury is in your 10th house of your career, your job, your responsibility, your legacy, your reputation, and Chiron is in your 6th house of finding a balance between work and home. Chiron wants you to heal yourself through daily habits. So this lunar event is really being, it's coupled with the Mercury Chiron trine, encouraging you to triumph over your past hurts and foster personal growth within yourself. Virgo's influence always highlights your health and wellness routine. It's a focus on your mental, physical, spiritual health, well-being. Where do you want to be? Where do you need to be? Having a schedule, having a routine, reorganizing your space. And so this new moon could have you starting something new with your role within a group, or organizing things within a group, or a wellness routine. This could be improving your efficiency in your daily tasks that can lead to greater productivity and a sense of accomplishment for the role that you play, or moving towards your goal, saying, here's my goal, and then here's the mini goals that I'm going to use as markers in order to get to where I want to be. This new moon's energy is supporting the details of self-care first and your well-being on all aspects, and then for you to set those intentions for long-term health and personal development, for your goals, for things that you want to achieve in your life. This is a great time for you to create this solid foundation for future growth. So this is a moment of that you need to, I encourage you to focus on improvement of your overall quality of life, and who do you want to align with, and where do you really want to go, and what do you really want to do? What is the most important thing to you? That would be your new moon intention. On September 6, 2024, Mars is now going to move into your 9th house. The 9th house is in a harmonious aspect with who you are, your first house, your identity, how you are seen, things that you want to produce or begin, how you want to show the world who you are. Now, Mars does not do as well in Cancer. Mars is considered to be debilitated, so it has to work a little bit harder. What's important to note about this is normally Mars spends about 2 months per sign, and in this period the focus is going to be on home, family matters, your real estate, your property. It's also going to be on what do I want to publish, these experiences, these cross-cultural experiences that you want to have with other people. It's traveling someplace, it's taking a class, taking a a workshop, publishing something, legal matters. Now, Mars is going to come back to this area of your life in December and January. And so it's going to station retrograde. So during this time, expect this heightened attention to your living situation. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Classes that you want to take, things that you want to publish, family dynamics, any real estate projects. This retrograde shadow is going to begin on this date, and it's really going to further emphasize the need to reassess and realign with your goals moving forward. Mars's energy wants to work towards constructive changes, and so I would encourage you to address any unresolved issues, strengthen any foundations that you have with, I would say, with any coursework that you've taken, legal matters, anything that has to do with travel, knowing that December, January, you are going to come back and readdress these topics. From September 10th to the 27th, you are going to have Mercury now move into your 11th house of your goals, your wishes, your aspirations, teams, shared creativity, your social circle, your beliefs. When Mercury does very well in Virgo. And so when Mercury moves into the sign of Virgo, it's really going to enhance your ability to organize, to improve efficiency, to pay attention to detail. This could be you working with teammates, or this could be on clubs or organizations or groups that you are a part of. Mercury in Virgo, it thrives and expresses its best energy when it's able to pay attention to the detail of the work, making it really easy to analyze and solve the problems with precision and with clarity. Expect an increase in your productivity at this time, having a stronger focus and refining the process of your routines, finding times to manage what you want to do. Whether you're tackling complex projects or you're reorganizing your workspace or your home space or fine-tuning your personal plans, Mercury in Virgo really supports clear and practical thinking, which leads to well-structured outcomes. And so whatever you're going to initiate during this time period, knowing that it's going to come off to a good start, that I can have a plan and a plan to make the plan happen. Utilize this period to enhance your organizational skills and implement strategies that are really going to improve your overall efficiency for anything that you are working in conjunction with other people or in groups or networks. The 11th house is also, it's where and who you are connected to. And this could be an online community or an in-person community. On September 17th, 2024, the sun is now going to still be in your 11th house with a focus on you and other people, possibly with creative projects, but you networking. And the full moon, it's going to be a full moon, a super moon, and a lunar eclipse at 25 degrees of Pisces. This is literally signifying this transition between the Aries Libra axis and moving into the Virgo Pisces cycle, emphasizing themes of service, healing, spiritual growth. The 5th house for you is the house of creativity. It's art, music, joy, pleasure. It's the house of I want to take a risk. In the sign of Pisces, I want to be with community of like-minded people. The 5th house is not just love and romance. It's art and creativity and creative outlets. It's love that's given, and it's about play and joy and connection. And so you may want to engage in deep spiritual practices and connect with water, because it can help activate your intuition and unblock any channels, enhancing your spiritual awareness. During this eclipse, the veils between the dimensions can be thinner, making synchronicities and breakthroughs more likely. Pisces being the last sign of the zodiac, it's the most evolved, it's the most psychic, it is water, and so it is wanting to flow and be at one. And so this eclipse is going to be this beautiful period of emotional growth where new things will come in and the old will be ushered out. And And so it's really an opportune moment that you're going to need to let go of past emotional baggage and embrace these new beginnings with a clear, more intuitive mindset. So from September 23rd to October 22nd, the sun is now moving into your 12th house in the sign of Libra. The 12th house is the house of hidden. It's isolation. It's where we go to be alone. It's the house of meditation and spiritual retreats. It can also be hospitals, inflictions, institutions. It's where we go to rid ourselves of karmic debt, and we go to heal and renew. And so the sun in the sign of Libra is really going to emphasize these interactions that you're going to have with others, but it'll probably be private. It'll be relationship challenges and some diplomacy. This period, it can be marked by wanting to have a focus on balance and harmony in your day-to-day living. The 6th house is your mental, physical, spiritual health and well-being. The 12th house is where we go to heal those things. It's where we go to be alone in order to heal from them. And so this is looking for peaceful resolutions, looking to seek these connections and have these meaningful relationships with other people that possibly are going through the same thing that you are. The 12th house is where we go to connect to divine spirit. It's yoga, meditation. It's to go and sit and be alone or study things privately. It's wanting to understand my karmic or my past lives, to tap into why are the things the way they are? What did I bring in with me? How do I use it for the benefit of, and how can I heal and renew from the karmic debts? How can I release them? How can I resolve these relationship issues? How can I have open communication during negotiations? Diplomacy is going to be a key theme here as you strive to understand the different perspectives and create these harmonious interactions, and want to understand this transit with the importance of understanding the past in order to understand where you are and moving forward with your future, wanting harmonious interactions. And this could be through dreams, through astral travel, astral projection. The 12th house is where you deal with your shadow self and your personal unconscious, working with where I withdraw in order to clear out the negative things or the things that I have brought in with me in order to heal and renew. Now from September 27th to October 14th, Mercury is now going to move into your 12th house also. Mercury moving into your 12th house could be, I want to study about this. I want to understand this. I want to take a class or a workshop, but maybe it's done privately. Mercury rules over your 8th house of your psychological bonding with other people or wanting to heal, and the 8th house revolves around like death and sexuality and how do I heal and renew things that I've gone through. Mercury also rules over your 11th house of your goals, your networks. Who do you align yourself with? And so with Mercury moving into the sign of Libra, this is going to be a time period. The focus is going to be on some type of communication, a communication through your dreams, a communication or travel through, again, the Akashic records, past life regressions, anything that helps you to understand and align with something that can be otherworldly. The 12th house is the house of self-sabotage. And so how do I stop with this? How can I stop the cycle of some things, the self-undoing? How can I resolve these subconscious issues? How can I overcome these limitations? How do I take that deep journey? Do I seek out a counselor, a professional? Do I seek out a shaman? Who do I seek out? Or do I seek out a group? Like maybe you're doing AA and things are done privately. The 12th house is the house of rest and retreats where I have to do the work privately and alone. So during this transit, you might find yourself more inclined to seek out communication with others that are done quietly or in private, or to have these collaborative efforts that with people that you have the same common ground with. Be mindful that there is a downside of being indecisive because you're weighing all the different options all at the same time, or to overcompromise. And so be sure that you don't neglect your own needs, your own opinions during this time period. Use this time to enhance your interactions through your dreams or through your connection with a counselor, a mentor, a guide, or a healing practitioner, or what you are doing privately, maybe reading about some of these modalities or diving into astrology or numerology or psychology. It's, I want to understand things and I want to navigate this with grace and diplomacy. And how do I do this? So Scorpio, prepare for a month that's really going to be marked by significant astrological aspects and events, including an eclipse season you're starting a new karmic cycle that you are going to be focused on what brings you joy and pleasure. Your fifth house of children, and what am I willing to invest in, and needing to be in like-minded community. Virgo means I needed to have self-care, and Pisces is wanting to connect with others. And so Scorpio, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer full moon and new moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Sagittarius Sun and Sagittarius Rising, you are having a new moon on September 2nd at the top of your chart. I love this for you because this is about your reputation. It's your legacy, it's your job, your career, it's being noticed for something. Now, what's supporting you is we have Mercury and Leo in your 9th house of learning and traveling and education and publishing, in a harmonious aspect with Chiron in your 5th house of taking a risk or things, the area of being creative. I love this because this is a beautiful opportunity for new beginnings that is triumphing over past hurts, fostering personal growth of all the work that you have put in, and now being acknowledged for it, either as an award, a public recognition, through your reputation. The 10th house is the top of your chart. It's other people seeing you and the work that you have done, and putting out a new moon intention of, this is what I want to do. I need to improve my efficiency. I need to improve my daily tasks. The sign of Virgo is about healthcare and our daily wellness and organizing ourselves, being structured, improving efficiency. So you improving your efficiency in your day-to-day tasks for work and your wellness routine, making sure that you are balancing your home and your work. This can lead to greater productivity and a sense of great feeling and accomplishment for you. The trine with Mercury and Chiron is saying all of the studying, all of the information that you have been putting together, where you've taken a risk. This could be a side gig that is now taken off, or this could have something to do with your children, the work that you have put in. The 5th house is about love affairs, children, investments, sports, gambling, risk. And so we know that you're putting all of this together in order for you to heal these past wounds, in order for you to have this solid foundation for future growth for your career, your job. This is going to be a moment that you're going to need to focus on self-improvement and to enhance your overall quality of life. I love this for you. On September 6, 2024, Mars is now going to move into the watery sign of Cancer, which is in your 8th house of your shared resources. The 8th house for you represents you connected with people for, let's say it's alimony and child support with an ex, or a business partner or a marital partner. It's about all topics that have to do with insurance, your private affairs, taboo topics. The 8th house is death and sexuality. It's retirement, savings, bankruptcy, personal sacrifice, transformation from healing. You now have Mars moving into the sign of Cancer in this house. And the transit is really important because there's going to be a retrograde in December and January. Now, typically, Mars spends 2 months per sign, but this is going to be an extended period that's really going to bring in topics that have to do with home, family members, real estate, and anybody that you share resources with, your combined resources that you have with other people, and needing to have these open communication with people about topics that may be uncomfortable. During this time, expect a lot of attention to be on your living situation, your family dynamics. The retrograde shadow period is going to show you where you might need to reassess or realign your priorities in these areas of your retirement, paying off debt, things that have to do with legal matters, with like, let's say that you own property with your family, like it's been passed down. That would be something that can be brought up, like with debt or wills. It has to do with money and resources that is combined with other people. Now, utilize Mars's energy to make these constructive changes, address any unresolved issues, and look to strengthen the foundations of your relationships and of things within your home and your resources, your money, your investments. Because in the December, January, you're going to come back and reassess, reconfigure, realign, resolve something that's not adjusted now. On September 10th to the 27th, you are now going to have Mercury, which rules your partnership sector and your career sector, move into the sign of Virgo. And so it does really well here. There's going to be a focus on your job, your responsibility, things that you are putting out, writing, emailing, phoning, technology, computers, anything that has to do with your job, your responsibility, your legacy. This will give you an opportunity to organize, improve your efficiency, like to look over everything and say, how can we streamline this? How can we work with this better? Virgo energy, it thrives on expressing its energy with structure and organization and paying attention to detail, making things easier for you to analyze and solve the problems with precision and clarity. And so this is you looking over your social status, where you want to make your mark on society. This could be with other people that you work with, knowing that we're going to bring in the 7th house, you with somebody else, topics of partners, clients, one-on-one relationships. This time is really going to favor this effective communication, allowing for clear and concise exchange of ideas of this is what I really want, this is what I really needed, and being clear and concise in your organizational skills and implementing strategies that can improve the overall efficiency. And then you are able to find this happy medium between your home and your work. On September 17th, 2024, the sun is still going to be focused on your career, like your reputation. Everybody, the 10th house is how everybody sees you up here as your public life, government awards, your reputation, what you want to achieve. But the full moon, and it's not just a full moon, it's a super moon, and it's a lunar eclipse, the first of the next cycle at 25 degrees of Pisces. So when we experience a full moon eclipse, it is signifying a new period of spiritual and emotional growth. This is in the sign of Pisces, wanting to be at one with everyone. This event really invites you to understand the different perspectives of other people and to clear the karmic slates, making this a powerful time for healing and reflection around topics that have to do with home and family and your traditions and anything that has to do with your living situation. Ancestors, like DNA. It's like a time for reflection to say, where have I come from? What have they done before me? Engaging in deep spiritual practices that can truly connect you with your intuition and unblock channels, enhancing your spiritual awareness. The veils between the earthly and the spiritual realm can be thinner at this time, making synchronicities and breakthroughs more likely for you. This eclipse is signifying the transition between the Aries Libra, remember, so this is the end, the start of an end, and the start of a new cycle with Virgo Pisces, emphasizing themes of healing, spiritual growth, service to others. This is really an opportune time for you to let go of those past emotional baggage and the hurts and embrace these new beginnings with this clear, more intuitive mindset. When the eclipses go into a new area of your life that has to do with your 4th and 10th house, oftentimes it can mean something big that will shift with home and career over the next 18 months. From September 23rd to October 22nd, the sun is now going to move into your 11th house of who you network with, your aspirations, your goals, teamwork. When the sun transits through the sign of Libra, Libra is the scales. It wants to be balanced. It emphasizes social interactions, you networking, looking for diplomacy. This period is going to be marked by a focus on you looking for balance and harmony in all of your relationships, in all of your networking opportunities. Wanting to promote fairness, compromise, and peaceful resolutions. The 11th house represents where we volunteer or we support the collective, but it's also groups that you want to be part of, and it's also groups or teams that you are part of for your work. So during this time, there can be this strong drive to address and resolve any relationship issues that may have cropped up, making this an ideal time period for open communication, open negotiation, because diplomacy is going to be key here. You are going to want to strive to understand the different perspectives that people are coming at you with in order to create this harmonious interaction with others. This transit is highlighting the importance of Libra-ruled themes that, so think about Venus, of love and beauty and art and just things being refined and balanced. Now on September 27th to October 14th, Mercury is now going to join the party with the sun. And so Mercury transiting through your 11th house is really going to upgrade your social interactions, your relationship dynamics. Mercury is thoughts, ideas, communication, travel, and it rules over your partnership sector and it rules over your career. So who are you networking with? How are you networking? Who are you aligning with? Mercury in Libra is having the ability to engage in balanced and fair discussions and resolve any conflicts that can come up, listening and looking for seeking harmony and mutual understanding in where are you going with your goals or where you want to volunteer. Now, the downside to this can be indecisiveness of pausing and waiting too long or over-compromise. And so strive for balance so that you don't neglect your own needs, your own values, your own opinions at this time. Use this time to enhance your social interactions. Like build those friendships. Get out there and meet others. This can be either online or this can be in person. The 11th house is how you connect to other people. And this can be social circles or kindred spirits or with people that share the same belief system that you do. And so prepare for this month that is going to be marked by astrological events and aspects that are really significant. This is including the eclipse cycle that's going to be starting a new cycle that's going to have you focusing on home and your career. Work to have this mindset for flow to help you move into the next chapter of your life. So Sagittarius, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer full moon and new moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Capricorn Sun and Capricorn Rising, on September 2nd, 2024, you are having a new moon in your 9th house of cross-cultural experiences, wanting to travel, wanting to study. The ninth house revolves around all topics of foreign people, places, and things, education, legal matters, publishing. It's you getting out there and experiencing things, or wanting to experience, wanting to get out there and searching out the meaning, like looking for access to wisdom and learning, and basically looking for adventure. And so this new moon has a harmonious aspect with Venus in your 8th house of shared resources and Chiron in your house of your home, your family, your foundation. And so the new moon at 11 degrees, this presents this powerful opportunity for new beginnings, for healing. Virgo is needing to take care of self. It's our day-to-day routines. And so coupled with Mercury in Leo trining Chiron in Aries is, how can I move on past my past hurts? And how can I foster personal growth for myself? I'm not done. I want to study. I want to travel. I want to go there. I want to feel that. I want to experience this. I need to take care of my wants and needs first, because I'm always worried about everybody else. I'm always planning for everything. I'm always planning for the end of everything. And as having a new moon, this is supporting the detailed attention to self-care for yourself, your health and well-being being of the utmost importance, embracing this period to really set the intentions to promote long-term health and to your personal development. Does that mean go there, study that, connect with those people? Absolutely. Whatever you want to do. There's this harmonious trine that's saying, I need to heal my past wounds. I need to create this solid foundation for future growth. This moment is focused on self-improvement and enhancing your overall quality of life. And this is a time where you want to focus on what you want, need, and desire. On September 6, 2024, you are going to have Mars move into your 7th house of your partnership. I call this your +1 house. It's your business partner, your significant other, it's clients, it's one-on-one relationships. It's where we find love and contractual relationships. It's contracts, agreements, and negotiation and compromise. Now, Mars is debilitated in Cancer, meaning it has to work a little bit harder here. Mars is fire, Cancer is water. And so there's going to be this significant shift or focus towards home, family, real estate, partnership, clients, and how does this all become convoluted together? It's important because Mars normally spends 2 months in any given sign. And what's going to happen is Mars is going to move through this sign, and then December and January, Mars is then going to retrograde back into this sign. And whenever a planet stations retrograde, it's rethink, reevaluate, redo, revise. And so Mars spending this time here wants you to focus on your domestic life, your property concerns, your partnership, clients. The 7th house is how do you handle conflict and legal matters. I'm going to bring in open enemies and exes because when there's a retrograde, those topics can be brought back into the mix, and that'll happen again December and January. So during this time, expect your attention to be focused on family and partnership and all of the dynamics that have to do with contracts and negotiations. If you have to reassess or realign your priorities, now is going to be the time. Utilize Mars's energy to make these constructive changes now, and then later on you will be like readdressing any issues in order to strengthen your foundations that are between home and partnership. From September 10th to the 27th, Mercury is now going to move into the sign of Virgo. Mercury loves to do well in Virgo. It rules over that, and it also rules over your 6th house of your day-to-day habits, your health, your well-being. So Mercury's transit into the sign of Virgo in your 9th house is, I have to be healthy in order to do the things that I want to do. I have to be organized. I have to communicate effectively. Mercury is the planet of communication, intellect, travel, writing, journaling. It's all forms of communication. And so in its home sign of Virgo, it really thrives. It does really well. This is really a good place for do I want to take that class? Do I want to travel there? Do I want to have something published? Are there legal matters that I need to dive into? Anything that has to do with the way that you communicate it, say it, write it, get it out there. Expect an increase in productivity and a focus on your day-to-day routines. It's about streamlining your life. This transit is really going to encourage perseverance and your meticulous approach to tasks. Maybe reorganizing your workspace or fine-tuning your personal plans, restructuring things in order for you to be able to do the things that you want to do. It's about clearing out your life and having this practical thinking that leads to well-structured outcomes. This time really favors communication, allowing for clear and concise exchange of ideas with others, being crystal clear, saying, this is what I want to do, this is where I want to go, this is the class that I want to take, this is what I want to have published, these are my words, or these are the things that I want to achieve. And so with the ninth house, it's all things that have to do with access to wisdom and learning and morals and ethics, and it's the search for the meaning of these things. And so utilize this period of when Mercury is going to be here to enhance your organizational skills and implement strategies that can improve your studying efficiency or your traveling efficiency or just efficiency in general. On September 17th, 2024, the sun is still in the sign of Virgo, really highlighting the need of you are wanting to still experience things, go places, do things. And the full moon, and it's not just a full moon, this is a full moon, supermoon, lunar eclipse at 25 degrees of Pisces. This marks a really important, significant period for spiritual and emotional growth in the way that you communicate with others. The third house is our neighbors, our siblings, our friends, people that are close to us. It's where we talk and exchange ideas, gossip, email, phone, transportation, new skills. It's where we formulate our thoughts. And so in the third house, it's inviting you to understand different people's perspectives. And it's an opportunity to clear some karmic slates, making this a powerful time for healing and reflection, taking wisdom of the time that you have gained here on earth and activating your intuition in order to unblock some channels, enhancing your spiritual awareness. The veils between the dimensions can be thinner during this eclipse, making synchronicities and breakthroughs more likely. This eclipse signifies the transition between the Aries Libra themes, between your home and your career, and an ending and then a new beginning of the Virgo Pisces eclipse, emphasizing themes of service, healing, spiritual growth, being at one, being at peace. This is an opportune moment for you to emphasize that I need to let go of past emotional baggage or hurts. I need to embrace new beginnings with a clear mindset, a more intuitive mindset. I need to pay attention to what does that my inner thoughts and ideas say, where I should go, what I should do in order to be more aligned. So Capricorn, on September 23rd to October 22nd, the sun is now going to move into your 10th house of the legacy that you want to leave behind, or your responsibilities, or your career, your job, or awards. The 10th house is the top of your chart. And so in the sign of Libra is needing to find a balance. There could be relationship challenges that you're going to have to work through with diplomacy. This period is really going to be marked by a focus on balance and harmony in all of your relationships that have to do with your career or what you want to achieve, your ambitions, your goals. It can be business related and have to do with not just responsibilities at work, but these can be personal responsibilities. Libra's energy really promotes compromise, peaceful solutions in order to hear both sides of the story, and socially networking with others, and your ability to improve your work with others by compromising or talking and discussing and sharing ideas. So there can be this strong desire to address and resolve any relationship qualms that you have had, making this an ideal time for you to have these open communication and negotiations with family members or people that you've had strife with. It's an opportunity to clear the air and to be on the same page. This transit really is also going to highlight the importance of the appreciation of things that are beautiful or things that you value. It brings in the themes of Venus, which is love and beauty and art and music, things that you find important. From September 27th to October 14th, you're now going to have Mercury at the top of your chart. When Mercury transits through Libra, the emphasis is on the way that you communicate, the way that you bring in information. Mercury rules over your 9th house of these experiences that you have with other people, being open-minded about it, and your day-to-day living. Your 6th house of your clearing out old habits, your caretaking of others. It's your daily routine and your service to others. And so Mercury moving into your 10th house is going to enhance your ability to engage in balanced and fair discussions with other people. This is an ideal time to resolve, to be the mediator who resolves conflicts in order for you to strengthen any partnerships that you have at this time. You might find yourself seeking more harmony in your relationships with other people, refining your communication skill set, expressing your thoughts in a considerate manner. This period supports all collaborative efforts of you sharing, helping, or allowing other people to support and help you, making it easier to work with you or making it easier for you to work with others and to find this common ground through open communication. Be mindful of possible indecisiveness or overcompromise when it comes to your reputation, your job, your responsibilities. Strive for balance and don't neglect your own personal needs, your own opinions during this transit. Use this time to enhance your social interactions. Get out there and socialize with other people. Build these strong connections with others. Navigate the relationship dynamics with diplomacy and grace. So Capricorn, prepare for a month that's really marked by these significant astrological aspects and events that includes eclipse season, moving you into a new karmic cycle. Work to have a mindset of flow into your next chapter. So I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer full moon and new moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe. So for Aquarius Sun and Aquarius Rising, I want to bring your attention to September 2nd. You are having a new moon. New moons are fresh starts, clean slates, new beginnings, and this is in your shared resources sector. This is the house of where you are connected to others, either by, this could be through a divorce with alimony and child support. It could be with a business partner, a marital partner. This could be with family members, because this is through shared experiences. The 8th house is the house of how do I transform, how do I heal after loss and death? It's the house of sexuality. The 8th house brings in topics of deep bonding and private affairs that we don't share with other people. And so what's supporting this is you have Mercury in your 7th house of partnerships in a harmonious aspect to Chiron in your 3rd house of communication. So we can bring in partnership and communication. Now the 3rd house represents neighbors, siblings, cousins, or the way that you communicate with those that are close to home. And Mercury in your +1 house, we know that this is a beautiful time for you to have these new moon intentions about you taking care of yourself. It's self-care. How do I triumph over my past hurts? I need to foster personal growth. I need to have birth, death, and rebirth. I need to transform. I need to explore. Virgo's influence here really highlights the influence of your mental, physical, spiritual health. And it's organizing my day-to-day habits. With my resources that I have connected to other people. So this could be your retirement, this could be your investments, it's debt, wills, anything that you literally have connected to somebody else. Those are your resources that I'm talking about here. I would hope that you could initiate wellness into your day-to-day living and looking at how do I streamline some things. Like, let's look over your resources or your bills or things that your investments that you have tied up with other people, and look for how can I align this and have greater productivity and a sense of accomplishment with things that I'm doing. The new moon's energy really supports detailed attention to your self-care, to your health and well-being, and your connection to others. The harmonious trine brings in partnership here, brings in the ability to heal and communicate effectively what you need for a solid foundation in order for you to have healthy future growth. This is a moment to focus on your self-improvement, to enhance your overall quality of life of who you are in conjunction with other people. On September 6, 2024, Mars is now going to be moving into your 6th house of your day-to-day habits, your day-to-day living. Now, the 6th house is the house of how do I nurture and care for myself? Do I seek out a mentor? Do I seek out a guide? Do I go to a chiropractor? Do I go to a nutritionist? Do I go on a daily walk? The 6th house is how do I get rid of or end old habits? How can I take care of myself? And then how do I give back to others? It's really important that you pay attention to what happens during this transit and focus on it, because this revolves around topics of you, your health, family, home, property. This transit is really important because normally Mars takes about 2 months to go through every single sign. But what's going to happen is that it's going to be here for an extended time because of it's going to station retrograde in December and January. And so during that time, the extra attention of where it needs to go back and focus again on your day-to-day living, your health, your well-being, your mental health, physical health. How do I address these topics? How do I address the priorities? That's what you're supposed to be focused on, because when Mars stations retrograde, you will readdress, refocus, refine. It will go back in order for you to make these constructive changes and address any unresolved issues that you may have at this time and strengthen your foundations. So pay attention to what's going on now so you will have a heads up of what will need to be readdressed later. If there are old habits or bad habits that you can potentially get rid of, that would be a focus that you can highlight on. From September 10th to the 27th, Mercury is now going to join the Sun in your 8th house. And so Mercury transiting into the sign of Virgo, Mercury is very comfortable here. Mercury rules over this house and your 5th house of fun, joy, pleasure, children, creativity. And so this is going to enhance your ability to organize, be efficient, pay attention to detail in topics that revolve around partnership. Where is your money? Where is your partner? Remember that the 8th house has to do with deep psychological, or the house of deep bonding and your private affairs. And so this is definitely you taking a deep dive into insurance, your private affairs, taxes, inheritances, wills. It could be the occult. It could be anything that could be a joint venture that has to do with bankruptcy, losses, anything that might encourage a personal sacrifice or a search for the wanting to transform your resources that you have invested either with somebody or with something and transform them into something that's better. Mercury in the sign of Virgo supports clear and practical thinking. It's about well-structured outcomes. It's taking a look at all of your assets everything of like your investments, of who I have invested in, how I have invested, and looking at all of this and being clear with the way that you are communicating and being concise in your exchange of ideas of this is what I expected, this is the contract, this is the document. Being clear and concise with organizational skills in order for you to implement strategies that can improve the overall efficiency of your connection with others. I like having Mercury in the sign of Virgo in your 8th house for you to say, I need to look over all debt. I need to look over that will. Let's look over that contract. Let's renegotiate this. It's taking a look at anything that is paper or anything that is written and saying, I am going to analyze this. I'm going to look for any problems that could arise, and I'm going to solve them with precision and clarity, because Mercury is concise. It encourages a time period of perseverance and this meticulous approach to tasks. The 8th house is the house of mystery and secrets, and so it's like, I'm ready to dive into this and solve this problem. On September 17th, 2024, the sun is going to be, again, still focused on your 8th house of shared resources, but there's going to be a full moon, supermoon, lunar eclipse at 25 degrees of Pisces in your 2nd house of your personal assets, your skill set, your money, your talents. Full moons, they bring about endings and closures. They end a chapter and then it's the beginning of a new. And so this is a really significant period for spiritual, emotional growth and connection to others. This is really you taking a look at, what do I truly value? Money, finances, resources, my mental, emotional, spiritual resources, a person, a place, a thing, my income, my possessions, you taking a hard look at it. This eclipse is inviting you to understand the different perspectives of what people appreciate, and it's an opportunity for you to clear some karmic slates. This makes for a powerful time of healing and reflection, engaging in deep spiritual practices with that can help you tap into your intuition and unblock any channels that can help you to enhance your spiritual awareness. This is a wanting to have a connection with the universe, to be in line with your resources, your skill set, your talents. Now, the veils between the dimensions can be thinner during this eclipse. It's a Pisces eclipse. It's watery. It's intuitive, making synchronicities and breakthroughs, or those aha moments, more likely. This eclipse signifies the transition from the Aries Libra axis into the Virgo Pisces cycle that emphasizes, how can I be of service? How can I take care of myself? How can I work on healing? And how can I work on my spiritual growth? This is an opportune moment for you to really let go of the past emotional baggage and embrace the new beginnings with clear, more intuitive mindset of what do you need in order to feel secure as you move forward. From September 23rd to October 22nd, the sun is now going to move out of your 8th house and into your 9th house in the sign of Libra. Now, the sun's transit through Libra really brings about the need to want to get out, to socialize, to interact, to connect with others. The 9th house is the cross-cultural experiences, like foreign people, places, things, taking a class, taking a workshop, teaching a class, wanting to travel. It's about visas and passports. It's about publishing things. It's journaling. It's truly adventure. The 9th house brings about all topics of access to wisdom and the search for the meaning of life, or ideals and beliefs. And so in the sign of Libra, Libra's energy really brings about fairness and compromise and wanting peaceful resolutions, being the counselor or the person that can hear both sides of a story. And this is looking for meaningful relationships, actually listening to someone, enhancing your social life through your ability to work with others. During this time, there's going to be a need possibly for you to address and resolve any relationship issues that you've had where there might have been miscommunication, making this an ideal time period for you to have open communication that has to do with healing or with negotiations or compromises. Diplomacy is going to be the key theme here as you strive to understand the perspective of where the person was coming from when they said what they did or how they acted. It's you wanting to create harmonious interactions with other people. It's going to highlight the importance of all Libra themes that can be about love and beauty and art and creativity. From September 27th to October 14th, you now are going to have Mercury moving into your 9th house also. Now, Mercury rules over your 8th house, so it's shared resources, and Mercury rules over your 5th house of creativity. So we're taking these two themes and saying, now I want to talk about it. Now I want to publish it. Now I want to take a class. Now I want to go there. I want to study it. I want to experience it. I want to be the social butterfly and have these connections with others. This period is really going to be characterized by a heightened focus on your communication skills. You want to read about it, or you want to study it, or you want to hear about it. It's, I want to gather this information, and you might also want to share it. You might want to publish something that has to do about these topics. This is resolving conflicts, strengthening partnerships. Libra is the house, is the sign of contracts and negotiations and making things fair and equitable, seeking harmony and this mutual understanding in your relationships with other people, refining your communication skills, listening actively, expressing yourself through your thoughts in a considerate manner, and using these collaborative efforts in order to make your work with others easier because you're looking to find a common ground. I want to go there. What does that look like? I want to publish this. I want to study this. It's you saying, who can I do this with? What kind of a partner? Now, be mindful of the potential downside that is about being indecisive or about overcompromise. Remember, if you want to go somewhere or do something or study something, and you need to find somebody else that is willing to do that, not talk somebody else into it, and not do something that somebody else wants to do if that's not, it's not compromising your own needs and your own opinions. I would encourage you to prepare for this month that's marked by significant astrological events and aspects that include the eclipse season that's starting this new karmic cycle for you. Work to have this mindset of flow so you can move on into the next chapter of your life. So Aquarius, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer full moon and new moon astrology consultations. And for private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. So for Pisces Sun and Pisces Rising, on September 2nd, you are going to have a new moon in your partnership sector. I love this for you because it's planting the seeds for a new beginning, a fresh start, a clean slate. New moons are these opportunities to start something new, and this is in a harmonious aspect with Mercury in your 6th house of your day-to-day habits and Chiron in your 2nd house of your self-worth, what you need in order to feel secure about yourself. And so having this powerful opportunity for these new beginnings that's coupled with Mercury and Chiron, it's I want to triumph over my past hurts. I want to foster personal growth. I want to start something new with somebody. The 7th house is your partnership sector, best friends, significant other, clients, one-on-one relationships. It's the house of love, and it's the house of negotiations and compromises. This new moon is really supporting the attention to self-care first and my health and my well-being, and embracing this period to set these intentions that will promote long-term health and personal development. And who do I want to embrace that with? Who do I want to connect with? The 7th house is love, and it's who do I want to spend my time with? Because time is of the essence. Time is the most important gift that we can give somebody. So it's going to be highlighting the importance of health and organization and initiating this like refreshed wellness routine and organization and organizing like your space and organizing time to give to others, time to give to yourself. On September 6th, now Mars is going to enter into your 5th house of fun, joy, children, play, creativity. It is in a harmonious aspect with your 1st house of your identity, who you are. So this is you saying, I want to start something new. I want to make a significant shift towards something that has to do with creativity, art, music, joy, pleasure, something that I'm willing to take a risk in, something that will support me with home and family matters. Now, Mars generally spends about 2 months per sign, and what's important to notice about this is Mars is going to come back to this area in your life in December and January with a retrograde. Now, the energetic influence of the themes will revolve around your domestic life and topics that revolve around creativity, lovers, children, where we want to make an investment or take a leap of faith. So during this time, expect heightened attention to all of those topics where I would encourage you to focus on what do you need to reassess and realign with your priorities in these areas. Utilize Mars's energy to make these constructive changes now because Mars wants to cut and power through, and in water it's debilitated, it struggles, and so this is an opportunity for you to address any unresolved issues and to strengthen your foundations, and knowing that you will come back and readdress these in December and January. From September 10th to the 27th, you're now going to have Mercury join your Sun in your 7th house of partnership. I love this for you in that it enhances your ability to communicate clearly, either in love or in negotiations or in compromises, contracts. The 7th house is not just about love, but it's the house of legal matters and how do you handle conflict? How do you handle negotiations? The 7th house represents trust and connection and cooperation, open enemies, exes. How do you navigate this with the way that you talk? Now, Mercury likes to pay attention to the detail. Mercury is the planet of communication and intellect. And so this is a period that you can use it to look at the detailed work within contracts or to pay attention to what people are saying and doing, to analyze and solve the problems with precision and clarity. Expect an increase in your productivity and a stronger focus on refining your processes and your routines during this time. I truly like it. Mercury also rules over your 4th house of home. So this is, what can I do to manage what I'm doing outside with partnership or with my business partner or with clients, and how does this streamline things and make things easier for me also at home, whether you're tackling complex projects or reorganizing your home space or your workspace or contracts or negotiations. This is Virgo is offering you supportive, clear, and practical thinking, leading to well-structured outcomes of anything that you want to work through. It favors effective communication, allowing for clear and concise exchange of your thoughts and your ideas, and amping your ability for organizational skills to implement these strategies that improve your overall efficiency of you working with others. On September 17th, the Sun is still going to be in your 7th house of partnership, but now it's going to be reflecting its light on you, your 1st house, your identity. Now, this is a full moon, a super moon, a lunar eclipse at 25 degrees Pisces. This is marking this significant period for you of spiritual and emotional growth of who you are and your identity. Your 1st house is you being seen. It's your outlook. It's who you present to the world. I always say it's like your business card or your website. It is your desires, your interests. It's how you want others to see you. It's your strength. It's your vitality. And so this event is really inviting you to understand different perspectives and to clear some karmic slates, making it a powerful time for healing and reflection of who you are, taking a good hard look at yourself in the mirror aware and accepting yourself for who you are, your identity, engaging in these deep spiritual practices and connecting with water in order to help you activate your intuition and unblock any channels, enhancing your spiritual awareness. I love this because the veil is often thinner at this time because it's making synchronicities and breakthroughs easier for you to grasp or to connect to hear that song and understand or connect up with that person. It makes things all make sense and line up. It makes the breakthroughs so much easier for you. This eclipse also signifies the transition between the Aries and the Libra axis of what you value and your resources that are connected with other people, and it moves you into the Virgo Pisces axis of your life, of you with partnership. Oftentimes, this will usher in huge new beginnings and huge endings in that area of your life, emphasizing themes of service, of healing, of emotional and spiritual growth for yourself. This is going to be an opportune moment for you to really let go of any emotional baggage that's holding you back and embrace these new beginnings with a clear, more intuitive mindset of how do you want to be seen and who do you want to present to the world, stepping into your own divinity. This is who I am. Accept me. This is an 18-month cycle, so this is just the beginning. So buckle up. So from September 23rd to October 22nd, you're now going to have the sun move into your 8th house. The 8th house is you sharing your resources or your connections with other people. So this can be with you and a business partner. This can be you with a marital partner. This can be you with family if there's alimony or debt or wills or anything that has to do with bankruptcy, savings, retirement. Remember, it's your assets tied up with other people, or it's people that you are connected with. The 8th house is the house of taboo topics, and so it's the house of secrets. And so this is where we have these deep connections with other people, and we don't share all the details about it. And so the 8th house can be these joint ventures or birth, death, and rebirth. It's the house of sexuality. And in the sign of Libra, it's you wanting to have these connections, these interactions with other people, and wanting everything to be fair and equitable with all of your resources and their resources that are connected together. You wanting to form these meaningful relationships and enhance your social life. You wanting to have a deep bonding experience with somebody, wanting to be at one with them and improving your ability to also work with other people. There's going to be this need or this desire to possibly resolve any relationship issues, and this could be with family or with exes or with business partners or partners. It's about going back and wanting to be able to hear it from their perspective, making this an ideal time for you to have this open communication and to be able to negotiate or come to a compromise. It's hearing the other person, and diplomacy is going to be key here as you strive to want to understand their perspective and create these harmonious interactions, because the 8th house is the house of healing, of where things go off to die and then we can be reborn as to something better and newer, and striving to understand what does this mean for you. On September 27th to October 14th, you're now going to have Mercury move into the 8th house. I really like this because now you're going to be able to communicate much more effectively. Mercury rules over your house of partnership, and your house of home. So we know that all types of partnerships, and this can be open enemies and exes, and this can be business partners, and this can be best friends, significant others, and anybody that is considered to be home or family. We bring them in together into your 8th house of taboo topics, or the house of psychological healing, renewal, transformative. And so in the sign of Libra is emphasizing these social interactions and these relationship dynamics that can now come to light and be brought to the surface in order for you to discuss. Libra is going to enhance your ability to engage in a balanced and fair discussion that makes everything equitable, to be able to say, I hear it from your point of view. It does not mean that you have to agree with their point of view. It just makes this an ideal time for resolving some conflicts that could have been brought up, and in order to strengthen the partnerships that have been a little bit shaky, or to bring in partnership that's already there and make it stronger. During this transit, you might find yourself inclined to really seek harmony and mutual understanding with other people that you want to have these deep, committed relationships with you refining your communication skills, being able to actively listen, and expressing your thoughts in a kind and considerate manner. This period really supports all of your collaborative efforts, making it easier for you to work with other people in order to find a common ground that you can meet in the middle. Prepare for a month that's really marked by significant astrological events and aspects, including this eclipse season that's going to mark this brand new karmic cycle that's about you and partnerships. Work to have this mindset of flow so you can move into the next chapter of your life. So Pisces, I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. Please join me live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I offer full moon and new moon astrology consultations. For private consultation, you can schedule that at willowgracemystic.com. And to get updates as soon as they're released, please subscribe.